Hello and welcome everybody to Chalkcast number 25. I am here joined by our co-hosts Johnnyboi and CJCJ, as well as our guest Tbates, who doesn't have a camera at the moment. I'll get that fixed in a second. And Retals. We got the story. We got the story last week from Archie. We heard a little bit of a rundown with the whole oxygen rise situation. But I mean, we got Retals here, so I mean, as well as maybe a couple other people here are curious, kind of the little rundown of what Retals went through during the offseason, during that trade window.
It was a mess. For those of you that don't know, tied for 7th in North America. Not the best result, not the worst result. It's a very stacked region we play in now. We had 3 months off. If you didn't make the major, we finished November 5th, I think, and we have our tiebreaker in 8 days. So a very long break. I wanted to make a YouTube video about it. I wanted to talk about it, and I just could never really find the I can't talk about it for 10 minutes because it's really not that deep or not that in depth. But we planned on sticking. Com became available. We looked into it. We went to buy him out. That failed because of Rise to V1. Other players other players were hitting us up. Other teams were trying to sell their players to us. We're like, no, we're going to stick with Magic. It wasn't a we want to kick Magic. It was a we want to explore the possibility of getting Com. It wasn't. Magic is still someone we believe in a ton. It's not someone we didn't want to make a move just to make a move. You know, he's a very talented player. Someone who, in the long run, sure could be better than what we could have been with Com. In the long run, can be still, in my eyes, one of the best players in NA. So that is my piece. Transfer window sucked. All parts of it sucked. I never want to do it again. I hope the next time I'm involved is me getting kicked and I retire, because transfer windows are the worst part of Rocket League. Not even close.
Who was it? Was it AJ Rizzo? You'll probably know this. Who tweeted the Magic Bear when he was upside down face replying to the whole situation? And what did AJ say? What did AJ tweet at him?
Turn that frown upside down or whatever.
Yeah. He said turn it. So would you say that Magic Bear's frown has been turned upside down, Rails?
I would. Our vibes are fine. I mean, a
Excellent.
lot of people are like, "Oh my god, they're chalk for the whole split." It's like this is our job. Like every team that isn't the best and I think Rold has tweeted about it. Every team in North America or Europe that isn't the best is looking to make a move. It doesn't matter. It's a weird situation, right? Because I don't know. It's tough. It really is. But we believe in them a lot. I'm actually really excited for the split with how scrims are going, how practice is going. I'm excited. I think it's going to be good.
When did you guys hop back into practice? Like how many days ago?
We've been practicing for a while. We took all of November off, so after we didn't make the major, and then we were scrimming while teams were at the major. We started like first week of December, took a few days off for Christmas, and then obviously that whole mess, but we haven't taken off more than probably a week since December.
What was it about Com that made you want to push away the Magic?
Com is CJ. Com is, in my eyes, probably the closest mentality to me in the pro scene. I think we think about the game very, very, very similarly and very similar values, and I think that was attractive to me. But that's just something as not a team leader or a captain, but as a teammate or a veteran teammate to someone like Magic is something I should be able to teach him anyways. I mean, I should be able to take him under my wing with how talented he is and make him into the player I want him to be, and that's something I failed on last split.
Okay, so you mentioned that every team that isn't the top team in EU and NA, every team in NA and EU that's not the very top team in the region is usually looking to make a change every transfer window. We're going to talk about transfer window specifically in a minute, but just to intro that, do you want to explain why that every team that isn't the top team is usually looking to make a change? Because it's not like the top teams. Maybe Gen G, but yeah, usually not like usually the top teams are levels above second, third, fourth, fifth these days, because NA is so stacked, EU is so stacked. So why, the teams still keep trying to explore every option for changes, Rails?
I think we have the most immature pro scene, not even close in esports. I don't think it's. I think there's a lot of 16-year-old, 17-year-old star players that want to surround themselves with more mechanical players when really that's not what's ever won in Rocket League. You see BDS, you see G2, BDS getting Seiko, of course, but there's still players on every top team that's not a star. That's not an on-ball, I need the ball to score or to do anything good. And that's kind of the way that these teams are going. I mean, even, moves that you guys that weren't even told on shift it was the biggest mess, not even close this offseason. It was awful.
So you'd say like this offseason was definitely like the worst for you?
Yeah.
Off season or the trade window?
Or yeah, trade window, sorry.
Trade window. Yeah, it sucked. It sucked for everyone involved.
Should they get rid of it?
I
Or
think
should it just be significantly longer?
it should be back to one trade a season, not two. I think two is too many.
Or like one trade. Right
just
now it's two because you have two transfer windows.
I think there should still be two transfer windows. I think you should only be allowed one move, just because like teams.
What about, can you make a change and then change back? Or is that not allowed?
What do you mean?
Like grab the player back?
Yeah, if you switch a player and it doesn't work for either team,
why would that matter?
Because that's
That's
two
not gonna
if you do it like
changes.
before the transfer window ends, it wouldn't.
No, I mean
be a
like if
change.
you have a whole split, like let's say two teams make a change in the
That's
first
still two
transfer window,
changes.
that would still count. Okay, you can't do that. Okay,
I just think
I want to clarify.
a lot of the younger players just make moves to make moves. Like roster changes are exciting, right? Like no one's denying that they're exciting. Like playing with a new team is a fun thing, but they suck. And I think,
Why do they suck?
I mean, you're just playing with people's lives, and it blows. I try to stay uninvolved as much as I can. If the Magic thing went through, that would have been the first team I've ever kicked, and I hate it.
So yeah, Bates, you said, you tweeted. Hold on, let me pull up tweets. So I have
Tweet
it
a
right
lot
here.
sometimes, Johnny.
Well, we talked about the transfer window chaos 2 weeks ago. Also talked a little bit last week about it. We're I think mainly discussing other options for the transfer window and ways to stop the chaos from impacting people's livelihood, like Retals alluded to. And yeah, you tweeted that you're 25 minutes in and you want to run it back with you in town to explain why you disagree with our takeaways, which I believe were mostly that not much can be done. There's outside of removing transfer windows entirely. I mean, not really any way to stop last minute chaos because you're just moving when that last minute is. That was kind of, I think, what our summary was. Although I will be honest, I didn't go back and listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know.
Do you want to explain maybe your thoughts? Because it's been 2 weeks. I know you probably don't remember everything that you disagree with, but what do you think transfer windows should be? If you remember anything you disagree with, bring that up as well. But I don't want to put you on the spot like that.
Johnny, you can never put me on the spot. I'm always ready. I'm always ready to talk about something.
Tell me everything that you disagree with.
Whoa. I didn't. Whoa. You didn't let me finish. I really don't remember a lot of things I disagree with, but like I can always talk though. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
I hate the transfer window. I hate it.
What do you hate about it?
Reason. One reason, Slater already mentioned it. You playing with people's livelihoods. I absolutely despise it so much. I despise it so much.
Especially, dude, not to cut you off, but especially now that like we're gravitating not towards like a franchising, but towards like team houses and people moving out to like I'm in Texas now and
continents.
Yeah, especially continents, and it's like if Com went through that, he's living in Minnesota now with V1, and it's like
to move all the way somewhere else.
It's a
like I understand, and we're gonna get into the super teams thing, but the transfer window affects the super teams argument to a certain degree. But that's the first reason. I really hate how it messes with people's livelihoods. I don't think people talk about that enough. I think people get caught up in oh my, this team could happen, but then you don't think about the person that's getting booted on the outside. Where's the income coming from? Their families might need that type of money. Bada bing, bada boom. I thought I was gonna be on the team for a year. I'm not. I was only on it for 3 months.
So wait, before you go to the next one, do you think it's like, because like the messing with the livelihood, like it has to happen at some point, right? Like
Yeah, at some
somebody
point.
has to get kicked at some point. So are you just saying like the frequency of the trade window is the issue?
Yeah, well, potentially. I wouldn't have two of them. It'll just be one of them. But it would just be one of them. And I think for me personally, it would be after the winter. So it'd be you get fall,
Interesting.
winter, and then if you want to make a change, but then also within that, it wouldn't just be no month though, or 2 weeks. How even as long is the next transfer one? Like 2 weeks? Like April 6th to the
It's
17th or
13
something?
days.
Yeah.
Like at that point, that point to me, don't even have it because that's just gonna create too much chaos. Have it for a proper month. Have it for a proper month and a half, to where if you really want to have it, people have time to scrim and move on with their lives, to the point where you're not breaking out to the last minute just for X team to happen, and also just gives people a little bit of job security. For example, the Magic thing, Magic on the team. When Slater and all them pick them up, they want to get somewhere. The major spots in general, with just the 5, I think is also playing a big factor into all this because esports is in a results-based business. You want to make the majors. That's how you get exposure. Optic doesn't want to sit at home while people are playing in Rotterdam, while people are playing in San Diego. They don't want to see that. Optic wants to be on your screen during that. So of course, Optic, from a business perspective, it wants to make the move for Com. Com's been proven he's made land. I want to make that happen. Who's the next person out? Magic. He was only out there for 2 months. Optic didn't have a bad split. NH just stacked.
No, we didn't.
NH just
Well,
stacked.
okay, so there are two key things there. One of them Rizzo brushed on with how many is it, is 2 transfer windows too much? You prefer 1. How long a minimum should that transfer window be, do you think?
A month.
I would say about a month.
A minimum.
Month.
Minimum.
I think you need to give people time to scrim, and I don't know how you would do it, but you also need to make it to where the deadline isn't so dang close to when the games happen.
I just feel like saying minimum a month might be a bit naive though, because you look at I don't know how long transfer windows are for other sports, but mid-season transfer window in like football, most leagues that I'm aware of is maximum a month. I think it's usually a month, like on the dot.
When we say that
That's
though,
like,
when
as
I
people
say
like
a month,
flying out to different countries to do trials and like do
there you
physio
go,
tests and multiple
that's
like tests.
that's $1 billion
Multiple
industry.
hoops to jump through. Yeah, but that can be a lot more last minute. I'm just alluding to the fact that there's definitely very last minute transfers, even with a month in a game like football. The summer transfer window is much longer, but the mid-season one I'm talking about, because that's what we're talking about right now, mid-season transfer window. Because we're I don't think anyone had a problem with the off-season transfer window, did they? We're like just talking about mid-season.
But does the length like even make a difference? I feel like it's the same as like
I don't think so.
a
CJ.
school assignment. Like you're still gonna do it last minute.
Yeah,
So,
that's kind of what we summarized 2 weeks ago. Is like we felt like there's still gonna be someone who tries to make something happen in the last day, and then that'll like start a whole like domino effect of like what happened this time.
Right, and I don't know the specifics. Obviously, like I don't know what was going on in the V1 org. I don't know how long they're trying to get Rise or what, but that all started January 3rd is when we were approached by V1 or Com or whoever. January 3rd, and the transfer window ended on the 8th. So it's like...
So by the time that domino had reached you guys, it's now that time. Even if the first domino fell over, like...
We have 5 days,
window.
we've never even played with the guy.
Yeah.
It's like... And
that's kind of what I'm
maybe the whole entire length doesn't matter. Maybe you do like a week after the major starts, the transfer window starts, and then you have a 2-week period to make that happen. It doesn't shake. But then even then, you still have another 2 weeks before the actual next split starts, so people can figure out their livelihoods and stuff along those type of lines. But
see, so the livelihood thing is another thing I wanted to ask you about, Bates. So at some point someone's going to get kicked, and that's not going to be ideal if their only avenue of income is pro play and they don't have anything to fall back on.
That's the majority of the players. That will always be the reality.
Yeah, majority of the players. It doesn't. I don't think it always has to be the reality. If there's a more content focused and more careful player base who evaluate life choices, not just based on like, oh, this team can flip reset, so I'm going to go to the other side of the world and play for them, and not just also look at what's an affordable place to live. Where do I actually want to live that's going to make me happy every day outside of the game? There's other things besides like how mechanical your teammates are. I think a lot of these young players sometimes overlook. But I wanted to ask, is it more unfair? Because I think job security is important to a certain degree, but the transfer window has to be necessary, surely, to allow teams that have super toxic environments to change something, because that's not exactly an ideal living circumstance either. If you're just stuck as a team for like a whole year or half of a year, you're not even allowed to make a change. There's no transfer
To
window.
me, that sounds like maturity.
I mean, I'm just saying this because most, or maybe not most, but a lot of transfers and a lot of like the first domino that starts that domino effect. Oftentimes, in my experience, right, Rocket League history, the first domino, it doesn't even have to be a skill issue. Sometimes it's just players don't like playing with each other anymore. They really just want to change something.
That's the
That's
majority of the
Rise point
reasons.
of view on
Domino
made
effect.
no sense. Like if we're gonna look at this at like a complete like skill level, like he wants to move across the country. Obviously, beast mode, one of the best players in the world. Right, sure. Yeah, across the world, sorry. But dude, he has Jorus and Archie right there, like two of like his best friends. Like it just it never made any sense other than unless he's just trying to get paid. But knowing some of like Oxygen gets paid fine. They get paid close to a North American rate. And it never made any sense for that to happen. I think people just want to move to North America. I get it. If you want to live here, don't really have an option.
They just want to stack the region as much as
I
they
get,
can.
dude. It sucks. It sucks. It really does.
But going back to your point, Johnny, about having like being stuck on a team. One, you picked your team because the organizations don't pick the team. The players do. The players say, "I want him."
But
him.
things change though. Things change.
I mean,
like
things do
sometimes, like,
change.
a team could be like together for a while, and then they just really need a change right now because circumstances happen. Players fall out, and then you just really just want to change your hard stock. Something, that's why I feel like what I'm saying is there's probably a balance here. We don't want to make like,
and that's why you make it after winter.
Long.
If you pick your roster, say the season starts October, you pick your roster in September, and you mean to tell me unless something drastic happens, like I don't even want to say. You can imagine what drastic is. Not some petty nonsense where, we're not performing as well as we thought we were. I don't want to play with you no more because you're not good enough. I don't want to be a part of you anymore. For something drastic happens. So we can imagine unless something like that happens, and you mean tell me you can't have the maturity to wait until then and keep working and then winter make something shake? I mean, after winter make something shake? Then I don't know what to tell you. You're getting paid money. And that's up to the organization. Well, get you the right coach for the leadership, get you the right mental coach, get you the right... But everything else around.
Don't get started on coaches. No, you can't go down the coach like rabbit hole today. But okay, so one thing, another thing to no, let's not do it. Not today, mate.
What's the coach rabbit hole?
No coach rabbit hole today. We can do that another day. We've got so many topics to get through. But one final thing I wanted to mention to you actually is that we're probably not too far away from agreeing on this as you might think, Bates, because we've discussed like our preferred format, and quite often on the show we've talked about how like a 2-split format could be better than a 3-split format. And then if you've got a 2-split format, you've only got one transfer window.
That's right. We talked about that.
Yeah, you're not going to put one right between the last major and Worlds. So we're not actually too far away from. You wouldn't put one right between like the second major and Worlds, would you?
Yeah. I mean, in between the first and second split. Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 splits, 1 transfer window. We actually talked about that before, and we like that idea. I think all of us. So, with that said, I know you wanted to talk, or you've had many thoughts in the past about league play versus current open circuit.
Oh, man! You don't want to get me started.
We agree on. Okay, so we do agree that 2 split could be a really good idea. We're all interested in this, but what's the deal with this going back to league play, Bates? Because I don't think there's anyone in the show. At least I can remember, has wanted that like a ton. I know you do.
I'm for league play.
I know you.
You as well. Okay, so Retals
players are for league play. Players, you gotta ask the players.
Okay, first off, hold on. Retals said he's for league play, not players. You know,
Retals
is a player, but that doesn't mean players.
I can drop names on you. Want me to drop names on you? They want mine.
Drop names, Bates.
Chicago wants league play.
Okay.
Who else wants league play?
That's 2.
Atomic doesn't mind league play.
Doesn't mind.
He doesn't mind.
Atomic doesn't care either one.
He doesn't mind.
That
doesn't count.
Roll this with like a league play. He's a coach.
He's not a player. He's not a player.
Keep going. Listen. The league play movement. It's coming back. It's coming
back, bro.
No, it's never coming. It's never coming back. They probably will never do it. I'm telling you, in the circles, people have been talking about it a little bit more. I think people. And you just got the old league play was bad in the sense that you didn't split and play. There wasn't enough games. And I guess there was enough teams back then.
You're just saying the problem was it was like 8 teams you played each team
Yeah.
once. That's it.
And then that was
Okay.
it. And that's all that
How many,
happened.
how many is ideal? How many would be ideal for your typical
16.
league?
I would say about
16.
16.
How many is in an
16.
What, you
NBA
played them
conference?
twice, 3
They're,
times?
in a conference.
How many is in an NBA conference? Just for the
15, Johnny.
15.
Ah, funny that numbers kind of similar. Ah.
It's 16 is a clean number. It had nothing to do with the NBA.
I don't know. I didn't know that. I just wanted to know.
NBA. 16. It also goes to the fact that it's just oversaturated a little bit in my eyes. It's really hard to hype up the matchups nowadays. And it's just you gotta have that balance. I think before we had barely any, but now you have too much.
Wait, okay, hold on. You said the matches are oversaturated, but so I'll just say my take on league play is usually when you're doing league play, you get these matches at the beginning of the season that don't mean anything, and then by the time playoffs is close or playoffs actually happens, that's when the matches that people start caring more, right?
Why don't they mean anything at the beginning?
Some people are already eliminated, and some people
No,
have already qualified. So there's pointless matches at every stage of a league.
There's pointless matches even today.
So
Not really.
You lose 2
Not
years.
really.
Not really. In Swiss, into single elimination, every match is like a must-win almost because you're progressing with every win. That's the whole point. Well, I
open
feel like that's the whole
formats.
point of a circuit
With
system.
with the tiebreakers and groups now, there's not really that many useless matches. Like before, when like the team was 0-2 in groups and only top 2 goes through, like it didn't matter what they did. But now with like the 1-2 and the 1-1 tiebreakers, it's kind of
They actually aren't doing that. No, they will be, but not in the same way as last season for groups. Yeah, this groups is like I don't think the tiebreakers are the same. I think it's just like win percentage head to head kind of thing this time.
Okay, so Bates, are you saying teams throughout the season they might play like 30 games or something? Saying like 16
I don't
teams.
know whether it'd be
play
better for
15,
them to play like each other once or whether they play each other twice. I don't know which one's better.
I'm thinking twice, like initially.
But probably about twice, and I think every match would matter. Every match would matter to a degree. I mean, granted, you will have the team that's all the way at the bottom.
Yeah, to a degree, inevitable. I don't disagree with you, but I'm gonna be honest. Watching the first 15 matches of that season would be boring as shit. I would not want to care.
Yeah, this is from a guy who like didn't watch RLCS when league play was a thing. Then he retired and now he watches RLCS. So he's talking sense here. Like the history lines up.
Think about it though. He's an OG. He only had to worry about 2 teams back in his day. The rest of the league was irrelevant. So of course,
right.
the rest of the league was irrelevant. He didn't have to worry about nobody. So I mean, when Rizzo and them boys G2 used to play, all they had to worry about was C9 and NRG. Everybody else was irrelevant, man. That's pretty dope.
But you're not gonna worry about them.
Until season 8.
Until season 8.
We can go them out. You know why? Let's not go into the season 8 rabbit hole. Let's not go into the season 8 rabbit hole here. That's a little bit too much.
They got hit in the mouth.
We got so many topics, guys. We got so many topics.
I think there'll be a lot of parity. I'm sure some team might be better than everybody else, maybe 2. But I think in that general range, and you can make it interesting to where like.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, you're not gonna get different parity from a league play compared to a What is it? I don't even know what this one's called. What is the current thing called?
Open circuit.
Open circuit. Yeah, you're not gonna get different parity like between the two.
What do you think? Well, wait. What do you mean? Why wouldn't I get different parity?
Like,
okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, you wouldn't be like technically like different parity, I guess per se. So
what I'm saying is like the top teams are still gonna be the top teams, the bottom teams are still gonna be the bottom. Like the different leagues, the different formats.
The bottom teams will have a better chance at actually doing something though, in my opinion.
Also,
because I would have like it wouldn't just be like it wouldn't just be like some.
Are you
it wouldn't
saying
be just like a regular like playoff. I don't know how many teams would make like the playoffs, but it wouldn't just be like.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah,
it would be like 12 teams or something.
I always forget that you guys finish off your league with like a single elimination playoff. Like you have a massive round robin whole year like thing going on. Figure out who the best team is over the whole season. Then you're like, yeah, but forget all that. Let's just do single elim one time.
More exciting, Johnny.
You play the whole season for seeding.
What's wrong with winning? What's wrong with like just winning the league and that's it? They won. They won the league. What's wrong with that?
Because that's regular season. This playoff time. That's where the money's on the line. That's why I get paid that paper.
What if the money?
I agree with
none of that is an argument though. Because what if the money was for winning the league? Like the money would be on the line for winning.
But
No,
think-
what's
think
on the
about
line
it.
is making sure you get that first seed, so you don't have to play in the extra bracket, go up against that 12 seed who's feeding. They hit the hot streak. They're on a 6-game win streak right now. You don't want to see them. But then the
That's
4th seed got to
nonsense.
play them.
What if,
Tbates,
like,
you're saying
Sorry,
league play is
PJ.
boring then, and we need playoffs. Because if we can just end league play with whoever wins the whole thing, then
No,
that-
I'm not
you're
saying
saying when
not at all.
so league play is boring
Not at all.
because
no, league play
we don't
is
want to
great
decide
because
league.
No,
Yeah,
it can
league
raise the
play's bad,
tension.
so
You
they-
get the
even-
buys from league play. You get the buys.
Even your
you get the
league
security.
plays, even your league plays have playoffs in America. Even
So
that
the
has,
only
like,
good thing
a
about
goal
league
line.
play is the
Playoffs.
playoffs at the end, is what you're
the
saying.
playoffs bit,
No,
yeah.
the league play
The
is about the
playoffs-
seeding.
The
Sort of
playoff-
like
league
a
play is
sort of
what
like
set
a
up the
tournament.
playoffs.
Would you say like the
it's-
best part about league play is the sort of tournament at the end where you have like a single
no, there's a lot of best
sort of
parts
like
of league
a
play.
regular.
Stumbling, he's
regular
stumbling.
No, I'm
regional.
not fumbling. One of the best
stumbling.
parts of league play is the fact that I don't have is that the fact that when G2 finally plays whoever they play, Gen G, and they're both sitting at about 24-3. This
Wait, how
matchup
did
means
G2
something.
get up there? That's a crazy run.
Okay, my bad. I don't know. I don't know whoever's up there at the moment.
I'm
That's
joking.
the-
I'm joking. I'm
and,
joking.
and that's like the whole that makes it hype. I don't know if I do double round robin. I kind of like the NFL style. It makes it to where everybody watches, and I even think back then everybody would watch the games. Like back in Rizzo's day, everybody watched the games. I think they're
Oh,
just
it's the American football one. Wait, what do they do? I don't know what they do.
It's
They-
just
They don't even play every team, right?
They don't play every team though. That's the problem with them. But we could play every team. They
don't
would.
play every team.
They play like 16. They have 32.
They have conferences.
30 or
There's
32
32 teams.
teams.
32 teams.
And then they play
What,
like
could they not-
16 throughout the season or
They
17.
have divisions though.
Could they not
it-
afford the flights to the other like teams, or what's going on?
You don't play American football 31 games, Johnny. You're asking.
I don't play it at all, and I probably never will.
Okay,
I
good.
have no plans.
But the
It
point,
sort of
the
just sounds
point,
like Tbates that you want a 82 game league play system to then go into a regional that we already have right now.
Whoa. That's the whole problem with NBA. The NBA has too many games right now. That's another circle. The NBA has way too many games. NBA needs to cut down the games so people actually watch the regular season.
Or what if they just had an open circuit? How cool would that be?
No,
NBA open
because
circuit.
and then I like league
I
play
would- I
because
would
it's
Imagine
side
like the
structure.
Chalk cast signs up. The Chalk cast in the
Shotcast and
NBA.
NBA Open quals.
That
Yeah,
would
listen.
be. This is like the American dream. Anyone can win. You could just sign up and then beat the Lakers.
Yeah.
They're a
what?
basketball team.
No,
Anybody can beat the Lakers
you
right
can't
now,
just
Johnny.
sign up and beat the Lakers. This doesn't happen. You're gonna
Well,
get
yeah,
blown
bro,
out.
Anybody can
And
beat the
it's same-
Lakers, Bates. The Lakers are ass. Let's just get that out of the way.
They might be ass, but you can't just sign up and play LeBron James and expect to win.
Oh, okay, hold on. I feel like we've gone off the rails a little bit here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel
Yeah.
like we've gone a bit
Let
off
me
the
get back
rails
to my
here.
point.
Look,
So-
Back-
No,
I
I
think,
was
like,
going to say, Bates, you said something interesting. I had to bring it back really quickly. That you think that the league play would like make it versus our current system that we have, the open circuit. You said this is oversaturated, therefore league play would be better. But how does that work? Because if league play had the same amount of games, it would be the same saturation. Surely that's not the solution. Surely that's like a totally different topic of Rocket League esports being oversaturated.
I think it's
Like,
hard to make an open circuit less saturated because then it's not like
Two
you
splits.
get one. Sure, I was talking regionals. Say it's like 2 regionals instead of 3. Like imagine like you just have a bad
Yeah.
regional and you just can't make the major. But if you do
No,
league play,
three
if you do
splits, 2
league
regionals,
play,
2 splits, 3 regionals. 6 regionals altogether per season, per region.
yeah, it'd be better. But back to like if you did 2 regionals and you messed up one, like you're just done. You can't make the
Done.
major. If you do,
But, okay, hold on,
but if you do the
pause.
same amount of
Pause.
games but in a league play format, then you can you choke
can
a
bounce
series.
back.
I
you
feel
still
like
have
I feel like
15
you
more,
guys are like
14
jumping
more.
to conclusions though. You're saying like, okay, in the current system, if there was only 2 regionals and you do badly in the first one, you're done. But that's because the current regionals are not made for there being 2 regionals. If you had more robust regionals with like very, very like organized qualifiers, early stages, final stages, then you're not gonna bomb out as a good team. And if you did, then you probably deserve to bomb out. You're never in a 2 regional per split like format have double elimination be the format ever, because that's just way too cutthroat for what is essentially a qualifier. That's what regionals are. They're qualifiers to lands. They should be qualifier style formats, in my opinion.
But still, it'd just be nothing but tournament.
As opposed to league play.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't get your point on that.
I don't
one, Bates.
see the argument.
Because to me, and having the tournaments all the time makes it to where when you do the tournament on the land, it's just like it's another tournament. Yay! When
Yeah,
you
I
go
know.
from league play
I
to
think you're right,
tournament,
though.
that's a huge difference.
But
Even just
Bates, I
like
think
mentally in your mind, that's like seeing it as a difference.
no,
Tournament,
but listen,
tournament.
Bates. See, like I think you're onto a problem here, and we've talked about this in the show in the past as well. And that's maybe things are too repetitive. But again, why does that mean that you need to make a league instead of an open circuit? Surely you could just make it less monotonous, less repetitive. Have a majors format, have a like regionals format. The whole split's not the same. Like there are other solutions.
You could change that. It'd still be a tournament though.
I'm just saying, like a lot of your arguments for like this is why we need a league. They don't necessarily like mean that a league would be better.
I don't say we need a league. I just think I would like a league, and I think I would like a league. It's not such a need.
And Retals and Chicago would also like a league.
A lot of people would like a league. You just got to talk to them.
Atomic is everyone playing.
But going back to. Because Slater brought up a good point as well. There's also something that isn't as exciting, to me at least, about like when G2 did bad, that one, even though they didn't do bad, they lost 2-3 in the Swiss. Then all of a sudden, it's like their whole entire majors on the line. To me, it's not even like exciting like that. It's one thing, and it's not even like exciting.
Why though?
Everything's on the back.
Why is it not exciting though? Because we need to like really understand your thinking here. Because I thought it was really exciting. So why did you not think it was exciting?
Because they could have had two great ones and had one bad one they missed. Like what? To me, they deserve to be there.
I think no,
and especially as the regions that are this stacked. And I also
5 spots just isn't enough. It just all boils down to 5 spots is not nearly enough for North America. It's not.
Well, it's not enough, especially from the sample size as well. Because you might have a whole bunch of games in played. Might have a whole bunch, but they're all just in such a small, condensed amount of time. You need to expand that. You need to really define who the best teams in the league are. Who are the 5 teams that really deserve to make it? Optic might have hit their run at some point after they played a 15-16 game, finally hit that niche or some of those type of like extends it. It extends to the point where you really know these are the 5 best teams. A lot of times after the regionals, I'm like, okay, you had a hot Sunday. Congratulations.
But to not make Sunday 2 different events, you need to lose a combined 6 series in this like past split. So if G2 had lost a combined 6 different series, and then you switched it to league play and they lose 6 series, they're going to be screwed in league play as well if they manage to somehow lose 6 times.
They
didn't, by the way. They didn't lose 6 times.
SSG, V1, and everybody else.
I would assume so, because they'd probably all be in the league. Yeah, they'd probably all be in the league, so you're going to play all of them
all
and
on
lose.
The same day, so after I lose one, I got to play right again? Immediately right after, I don't get a break. I just lost a series. I got to reset.
Okay,
it depends on the format. But again, like you're bringing up points that are not necessarily things that we disagree with. Like no one here is saying yes, all losers should play right after. But like that doesn't necessarily mean that therefore a league is better, because the league doesn't fix that like problem by itself. What's really fixing the problem that you're suggesting is more spread out scheduling, more robust qualifier formats that don't allow one bad day to completely blow up a team split or season. You know, I think what you
How does
really
that happen,
want.
Though?
What do you mean?
That means games will just be going on all the time.
Yeah, it's hard to like spread out a Swiss.
How you spread out?
I wouldn't do Swiss personally. I think this split that's coming up would be my favorite.
I think this is the worst format.
Yeah. I think it's the best format. So tell me why you think it's the worst.
I think last season they gave too much advantage to whoever finished first in the group, and this season they're not doing it's barely any advantage. Having
you get a whole extra win, a whole extra run.
You get one series, and then you play a red hot team that's second in their group, and they're just
I need to see some stats, Retals. You got to prove that they're red hot. How many times has a team coming out of lower round 1 beating the team in lower round 2 has been waiting for them? I need to see some direct stats.
I was about to say, you think I'm direct, dude? I don't know.
Well, you can't make statements like that without having stats, so you can't say that it's not good to play a red hot team, because I've heard just as many times in the past people saying, actually, nah, that team's tired, so that's not fair. Like it gets flipped. So much. It gets flipped all the time. Oh, your favorite team lost after playing twice in a row, they're tired. Your favorite team lost to a team that played twice in a row. But that team's on a hot streak. Like you can't use. Yeah. I've heard the Rock League scene use both. So I need to see some stats here.
So last split they had too much of an advantage, I think, or last season, and then this season I think it's too little of an advantage. I think
what's first?
It was pretty clear a 1-round bye.
They go straight to the quarterfinal, and then
I think it was very, very clear from like every pro I talked to that it just should have been first and second starting uppers, thirds and lowers, fourth is knocked out. That is like by far the best bracket for after groups. If you get first or second, you get that advantage. You get third, you're not eliminated, but you still have a chance. And then fourth is just out. Like last season, getting first was insane. Like Regional 1,
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
we picked up Daniel, and we were a major team. Like it wasn't, we were bad with SIP, picked up Daniel, we're better. We had FaZe in our group, who was a red hot. FaZe with SIP, super hyped up. They beat us in game 5. Then we ended up going through all the way through the lowers, beating them and going to the finals. It's like the first and second team should not have that much of a difference. Like if you get first, you were guaranteed top 6. I mean, and then you remember the winter major debacle, and it was obviously a weird situation, but Sandrock didn't show up. We beat Dig, and we already guaranteed top 6. Like we're not losing Pioneers in that series. We won one series, and obviously you can't really plan for the visa issues.
Just one quick question, the Retals, because you say you don't like this format because first in any group, this format for anyone who's not aware, it's 4 groups, round robin, single round robin, 4 groups of 4. Winner goes straight into quarterfinals. Second and third from each group start 1 round earlier. It's all single elim from there. Pretty simple. But you're saying it's not enough of an advantage for winning, but in a league play, first is the same as 8th. You just go league play, and then your playoffs is like single elimination for the whole season. And first place in the league starts in the same stage as 8th. Like, how can you say that?
I also think the biggest part of league play is qualifying for LAN. No one cares if you get first in league play if you suck on LAN. And getting a 1 or 2 back in or a first or second in league play back in the day made you auto qual for LAN, which was like what everyone played for. No one cared. Like if you get first in league play, lose instantly, so you're the 4th seed going into LAN. Like no one cares. You made the LAN. Like that is what everyone's playing for in league play. No one is playing to win the online part.
Why is that a good thing though? Because I think that's a bad thing. Because all that means is that now people and teams don't care about matches that they're playing. So they're like, we qualified for the playoffs. We qualified for LAN. Like this is just like, it sounds like teams are not going to care as much. Whereas
it's going to be seeding.
You care a lot more.
You get auto qualification and qualification.
I mean, I'm just saying you guys are the ones saying that teams wouldn't care about the difference between first, second, same thing. Like first.
I think they would care a little more now.
Teams care obviously, but it's just
it means a lot. That's the that matters.
Well, right now, first,
especially if the lands, and like imagine the lands have what Slater's talking about with the 1, 2, 3 or something like that, groups or something like that. Well, I don't know how you would like. I'm not a tournament organizer. I don't do the tournaments. I understand the league play. I don't understand all the tournament brackets. That's the Johnnies, that's the Dazzlins, that's the Y'alls of the world. I don't go into that territory. But like, there's ways you can make it to where after you get first in league play, then you play in the playoffs with everybody else or something like that. Then that matters. Or in league play, you're just not playing anymore. You're already qualified. That's what first does. You're already at LAN. You already have an X seed. Everybody else, you got third through 10th or third through 12th in league play. They're battling out for the next 3 spots. And like 3rd through 6th have buys or something like that. 7 through 12 fighting it out. Bang, bang, bada, boom. But you automatically can't get as high of a seed as first and second because they did better in league play. I think that encaptivates, and that's going to have a lot of people watching. Which brings me to my second part of league play, which is, and there's something now I'm going, my brain, my juices are flowing. Now I remember why. All y'all are Rocket League nerds. Y'all are Rocket League enthusiasts. 2 weeks ago, y'all were talking to Johnny. You asked a good question. You said, I don't get the fan perspective or something like that. Cause like, I don't know, man, I just like, this is why I get paid to do. I just like love this. Yes, you do. And you know a lot, Johnnyboi. There's not many people.
I think to be fair to myself, I think what I said is like, I don't think I'm the authority on the fan perspective because I can't think like them because I watch too much Rocket League.
Exactly. Well, see me, I got too many casual friends. And I've always been I start off as a casual Rocket League viewer. That's how I got into it. I'll be honest. If I was casual now, I would not watch esports product. It's too much going on. The transfer window affects. The transfer window affects that because teams are hopping. 1 minute Rizzo on Moist. Wait, 1 minute he's on Queso. Now he's on Moist. Now he's about to be on Oxygen. Like, what's going on here? Kyle just moved over to NA. I knew about that 3 months ago. Oh wait, he's going back. He's going back now. And like that's hard to follow. And then the games too. Like the amount of games when I actually from my own personal experience and with my friends, because my friends, we all grinded, but then I kept on grinding. They all quit. We knew that NA was on Saturday and EU was on Sunday. That was guaranteed. Look at the schedule. Okay, when's G2 playing? When's Naps playing? 2 o'clock? All right, we tune in for that. Oh wait, plays again at 5. We're in for that. Now I ain't got a clue because I don't even know they make. I gotta watch on Friday. I gotta watch on Friday for that. You can't schedule anything out. I would know a weekend because they have the league schedule already. Week 5, I got G2 NRG. I'm there for that.
But
I'm there
Bates,
for
okay,
that.
so you're highlighting a lot of other good issues we've talked about before that we all agree with. That we think that the information being put out there about when Rocket League is going to be played and who's going to be playing is not very good from RLCS, and we think it should be better. We think it could be improved on. But I
Correct.
don't think that necessarily means that league play is automatically the better format. Because surely they could just do a better job communicating the current information. I don't think it's
To an
that
extent.
complicated.
To
And
an
if we
extent.
make it 2 splits instead of 3, like we talked about earlier, 1 transfer window instead of 2, like we talked about earlier, now it's not that much more, if any, more confusing, I'd say, than a league play. It's just the same thing. Because league play would have a mid-season transfer window as well, surely. So it's the same thing. 1 transfer window we're talking about here.
Oh, well, league play for me would be a 2-split thing. Like you'd have
Okay,
2
so it's
splits.
exactly the same. You get the same amount of transfers. You've got the same amount of teams changing. Like that's not an argument. Then we agree that 2 splits might be preferable for the casual fans. I think we all agree on that,
Yeah, I think.
regardless
I
whether it's
agree.
league play or not.
But
I agree,
go ahead,
Tbates.
CJ.
So the matchups, like you do get the hype matchups once every few weeks, couple weeks.
Few
whatever.
weeks.
The
They
problem-
be hype a lot now. There's a lot of good cats in this Rocket League
But
scene
the
now,
problem is, Tbates, you're gonna get your, I don't know, you're gonna get your Gen Gs coming up against G2 or something, and then after that, it's gonna be like Luminosity Rogue, and it's just
It's a fire match.
Yeah,
like, and then
See,
everyone's
see-
tuning out. Like,
yeah. It's a good point because right now the advantage of having so many matches going on is that you can cherry pick which ones to watch. You don't have to like stream all of the matches. You just skip all the bad ones.
You say Luminosity
to be
Rogue might be
fair-
a sleeper. What happens if that's fire though?
That's gonna be a sleeper no matter what.
Oh,
Nobody.
then
no,
you
the
then
thing
you
is-
then you watch the video.
Alright,
It's
okay,
better to go
yeah,
watch the video.
that's one of those things where you hear it's a good match, then you go back and watch it. But like on
Yeah, you
paper,
don't
you're
risk-
not gonna.
yeah.
You're not gonna
You'll
go
watch
and
that
watch
live.
that yourself. Yeah.
Okay, so they tune out, but then you got the next matchup is a banger. One
But
thing.
to be fair with league play though, they always scheduled the best match last. So
They
always
sure
do
did.
that.
Right.
And then, like the second best match was like the second one. So I was tuning in for all 5. I was there. I was existing somewhere. But another point I was gonna make to you, Johnny, about even if RL and I'm with you. I'm with you. We talked about that. There needs to be better communication, better like hyping up. But there's only so much you can do though, because you don't know the matches. Like we have this problem with first touch. I would love if on first touch we knew that X was playing X.
Like
on
if you knew
Saturday.
the groups, the single or
No,
if you
if
knew
I
the
knew
red
the
robin
matches
group.
that mattered. I'm not
So
talking
it-
about no groups. I ain't talking about looking at the Swiss predicting who's gonna go 3-0. Yay! I'm
No,
talking
no,
about
I didn't
who's
say
playing
Swiss.
who.
I don't like Swiss right now for casual fans. I think it's like too much because you don't know what they get. You don't know what round 2 is going to be until the entire round 1's completed. Now we know round 2. But if we're like next split, this split is coming up. Let's see how different it is. 'Cause it should be different. You know all of Group A before the weekend starts. You know who's going to be playing in Group A. You know when those matches are going to be. And then you've got a single limb bracket after that. That's pretty straightforward.
But then I gotta
Like,
make
they
the
can
single
announce
limb
that-
bracket though. I can't hype up the matchup. That's why league play. League play is you versus me. It's single limb right there. I need the W over you. 'Cause if I lose, I'm in trouble now.
Wait.
So like I want to hype up the single limb matches, but
But-
I can't do that because I gotta get through the group first.
So basically, you want to be the guy hyping it up on first. I think what you need to do is like make a YouTube video on Saturday night hyping up the matches that are coming on Sunday, because you can still hype up the matches. You just can't do it on First Touch midweek show, which is a different type of podcast entirely. Like it's not the pre-Sunday like starter.
Wait, but
I mean,
Bates, if you want to hype up the single limb bracket, the me versus you, what's the difference between hyping up a double limb bracket where it's like eventually they go down to the lower bracket and those matchups are still single limb? Like you're at one chance, your elimination point.
First off, I'm not a fan of double elimination, but I'm not a fan of double elimination. I'm not a fan of like.
No, all I'm saying is eventually a
What are you
team
talking
goes
about?
down there. Eventually a team goes down to the lower bracket and it's you lose, you're out, right? But you're saying you can't
Right.
hype that match up. What you're saying is you can hype up the league play playoff bracket because it's the
No,
final
I'm saying I
matchups.
hype up the league play like
League
regular
play
season.
also.
It's even worse because what does it matter if a team is 0-0 or 0-0 and then they go 0-1? They have 14 other games.
It matters.
I think a big thing that no one's
Oh,
talking about is
come
how
on,
league
there's
play.
no
League
way.
play is always. League play gets the best teams. You play everyone.
Yeah.
Dude. There's so many lucky brackets nowadays in Swiss, and I mean even
League play.
we had one this split or two where granted regional 3, we had a lot of internal sickness and issues, but we went 2-1, lost a phase, played Axel to qualify. We'd been 4 seed if we beat Axel. Like in league play, you play every single team. Like
Yeah.
it's not you can't avoid anyone. You can't abuse a team that you beat a lot. It's by
No
far the most fair.
excuses.
There's no excuses. It is the
But like,
most fair format.
isn't that round robin groups as well? Everything you just
No,
said
because
about
it depends
No.
who's in
applies
your
to round
group.
robin groups.
It depends who's in your group.
But like, what do you mean depends in your group? It's going to be like seeded into the group, so it'll be fair.
No, Johnny. League play, they're gonna play.
You're not playing everyone in league play. You play every
Yeah.
single team that is top 16 in North
Yeah.
America. In
Okay, but what?
a group,
Okay, how many matches?
say you
is
get a
this?
group
How many
where
matches?
15 games.
15.
I would do 15 games.
You play
Okay, well,
groups, and
if
say
you
you're
did-
the 1 seed, and you have
Yeah.
1, 8, 9, 16. Sure. Say you're who's the 8th? Us or Fury or Complexity, whoever it is. Say that we love our matchup against the 9th seed, and we love our matchup against the 1st seed. Then we
Mhm.
are in a group that, because of how it's seeded, we have a good chance of going in first.
And
If
then
play
you
league
go
play-
up in seeding because next time because you won. You'll do
Right.
better. You'll overshoot your seed, and then you're going to be a higher seed and get a different group next time.
But there's also where, say you're a 13 seed and you have, I don't know, like 3, 9, 13, whatever. Say you have an awful matchup against the 3rd seed. Say you have an awful matchup against, say you even have an awful matchup against the 15 seed. It's just, there's, in any format that's not league play, there is a certain amount of skill or luck involved in brackets
Mhm.
or groups or Swiss or whatever it is. League play
Okay,
is the
Retals,
most
I
fair.
think you're comparing round robin league play, 15 matches against one group, like one event with one group. You've got to compare it to the whole season. We're comparing season formats here. If we did round robin groups in a single elim, 6 times throughout the season, then you're going to play 18 matches in the group stage only. So actually, there would be more opportunities than a 15 match.
But there's
league.
no guaranteeing that you're going to find every team or like even different teams. I mean,
I'm just saying there's more matches and you've got more opportunities.
There might be more
there.
matches, but
and
you
even when you get out
we
of the
played
group,
Complexity
even
3
more
times
matches.
this season. We played Complexity 3 times. We played Furia twice. We played PK twice or 3 times. Like, you aren't finding different teams all the time. You're finding the same teams: Regional 1, Regional 2, Regional 3. League play, you can't do that until playoffs.
What if there was like some kind of stipulation that when groups are seeded, they
can't
avoid
do that,
rematches?
You can.
You can.
I mean, they did it with Swiss.
You pick them out of a hat, and then if the team that you just chose has like rematches with a team that is already in Group A, you can't put them in that group. You put them in Group B.
Now we're picking names out of hats.
This is called-
just make it league play.
It's a very established system actually for like drawing groups. It's called pools. You get like Pool A teams, they get drawn into groups. Then you get Pool B teams, they get drawn into groups. Pool B would be seeded lower, Pool C is seeded lower. So you get A, B, C, D, 4 in each. And there's 1A, 1B, 1C, and 1D in every group, and you avoid rematches. It's a known system.
This seems like you're going to such lengths.
Better than that, I like.
Does it?
Yeah, I go to such lengths because I want the best format possible. I'm not
league
just
play
gonna,
is
like,
the best
mail
format
it in
possible.
with a single round robin.
Wait.
Like, oh come on, there's no effort here.
Tbates, why do you say league play is the best format? That's what you just said, right?
Yes, it is. It always has been.
Okay.
Well, I'll just say
First time.
nothing that
Rocket
you've said
League
so
Esports
far.
got so big off of league play.
No, it
Don't
didn't.
give me that open nonsense.
Agree to
Don't do
disagree.
it. Don't say it.
Show me the viewer numbers. Show me the viewer numbers.
It was 'cause
The
of
epic
Kronovi.
merger was conveniently when the Open happened. That's why people were so enamored with the Open.
And
That's
tell
why
me-
it is. Because you
and tell me-
influxed at so many people and you showed them the game. The game has such good structure and everybody knew what they needed to do in order to become pro. That young man, he's in the middle of my screen. I don't know where he is on y'all's screen. He made it pro because of league play. He made it to this point.
Retals
and you
could have made it in Open as well, though.
He made it through an open bracket.
It is.
Through an open
It's
circuit.
absolutely harder.
Yeah, there's
it's
open
definitely
qualifiers that he
harder
got
to
through.
make it
It's the same thing.
through league play, but the best talent will make it regardless. It doesn't matter if it's Daniel, if it's Aqua, if it's Evo, if it's Beast Mode, First Color.
I mean, those
The
are
best
different.
players. It might take longer, but the best players will make it to the top regardless. There's so many like bubble players make excuses of it, and it's just.
It's easier now
Sure.
than ever for bubble players and for talented, like unsigned players to make it. Than
How
league
many
play.
new players
Think so?
are we
I don't
getting
think so.
Bates,
compared
okay.
to league play? How many new players are we getting? It's not a huge difference.
You don't even have to look like at the entire like Rocket League history. You just have to look at one like short little time frame right between the end of Season 9 league play and the start of like RLCS Season X when a whole bunch of teams who weren't actually that good in the top league disappeared because
That's
they all
because
got
league
replaced
play
by
was
open
wrong.
team.
League
No,
play
'cause they all
needed.
got- It's because league play makes it
league
easy
play was
for
gate
teams.
kept
Okay.
because
Like,
they all had egos that they didn't realize, and they wouldn't give up their spots. That wouldn't happen no
What?
more.
That doesn't make
But
sense.
that's not why it is though. It's because teams can suck the entire league and then just play good on one Sunday. Something you said you don't like, by the way. They could play good on one Sunday the entire year and then make it through the promo relegations, and now they're back in the league. They've gone 0-15, but it's okay because they played good literally one day. They're back in the league. Congratulations. You sucked all year, and this is your reward.
Yeah, I think you're forgetting about the promo relegation, Tbates.
I don't hate. I mean, well, everyone remembers right before league play went away. Everyone was talking about auto relegation and auto promo. I wouldn't hate that for
you get
either the bottom
auto-demoted.
or the bottom 2 teams or the bottom 4 teams.
And then
However
you
you want to
have
do it.
exactly, and then you have other people play from rival series or something along those type of lines. Because people talk about all this influx of talent. Vatira's making it anyways. Vatira, Rise, Joyo, they're coming through ours. They're gonna dominate. They're gonna be in the league. They're gonna do the same thing that PK did. They're gonna just ramrod everybody. It's gonna, no matter whether it's open or whether it's RS.
But we just said that about Retals. We just said that about Retals. He would have made it in through open, and you're using the same argument here.
But
even
also-
though there's
But that's
less
I think
evidence
people
about it.
people act but people latch onto the open saying, "Oh, it's providing so much more new talent." I don't believe it does.
It's not.
I think it's gonna be the same. And if anything, the open makes it to where when you're a bubble player or something like that, sure you have the chance of being G2, but it's not necessarily a realistic opportunity.
But hold on, you can't
need
just
more
say what
time
you
to
just
play
said. You
G2.
can't just say that statement and then skip on to a whole bunch of other statements. You can't just say that open didn't make it easier for new talent to break through and then move on as if that's a given. But it did though. You can't just say that it didn't and then move on as if that's a nothing
whole new
statement.
teams in league
That's a
play just coming
wild
in like you
take.
did in open.
Yeah, that's a wild take. So in a league,
who just comes in
It is
in the open right now?
absolutely. It is absolutely easier to make the pro scene in this format now. The best
By
player
miles.
in
By
any
miles.
And
format,
you can
especially
maintain your
even league
spot
play.
easier in a league play.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Even the best players, regardless of the format, even
Wait,
league
wait,
play,
why
will
you look
get
so
in.
It's an open
confused, bro?
format.
Why
It's
do you look
literally
so
in the word.
Because I'm thinking. I'm listening. I'm listening to everybody speak. Slater, say what you're saying. Slater, say what you're saying.
Open to everyone.
Oh my! There's no
Okay,
way.
the world is-
the
world is
new
open.
talent.
Bates,
Go on.
how many in your theoretical league play? How many teams are available to be relegated? Maybe one out of relegation. How many are going in there? No, but how many are going? How many are going to play for their promo relegation next season? How many maximum can get relegated?
6.
Agreed.
6. Well, right
Agreed.
now, let me blow your mind. A maximum of every team can
Maybe 4.
technically get relegated from the open format because if there were 16 better teams, they could literally just beat them. Well, do you know why it's not happening?
Nonsense hypothetical. That's like saying a kid on the street can become a billionaire, Johnny.
It's
That's
not
not
gonna
gonna
it's
happen.
not
can't
about-
happen. That can't happen, though, Johnny.
What?
That can't happen,
You gotta,
though.
It's
It's
like
not
saying I can win the
about
lottery.
it.
I have a
It's
chance to win the
eight.
lottery if I
It's
spend
eight.
$2
It's
on
eight,
that
not
ticket.
16.
I'm winning no
That can't
damn
happen.
lottery
The main
today.
event.
No. I mean season on season.
Okay,
End
alright,
of
fair,
end of a
fair. I
season,
got it.
start of the next season is what I'm talking about here. You could have literally 16 completely different teams. It is possible. I'm not saying it's likely. We're just saying what is possible here. It
Oh
is
my
not possible
gosh.
for that in a league
What is the
because
percentage of
teams
that?
are protected.
Don't give me that
it's-
possibility now.
It's
What's the
100%
percentage?
Don't give
because it's
me
open.
odds.
Okay, don't give me that. What is the
100.
What is the percentage?
Yeah,
Positive.
but the
people
odds
who throw out the
doesn't matter.
possibilities
We're
are
not-
just talking in some hypothetical world that will never happen. Don't give me hypotheticals. I had enough of that in law school. Give me actual numbers that would make sense to me. What are the chances
okay.
that 16 teams would ever be replaced by another 16
I'm
teams,
gonna
Johnny?
say 0.
Give me the number. Give me a percentage.
0%, actually.
Thank you, Rizzo. That's
But
exactly what it is.
Wait, this isn't the point. You said that it is harder now for new talent to break through. Where it's not. It's not harder. No one should think it's harder. It's easier now than ever because it's an open format. It's an open format. Any team. 16 teams could come up at the same time and they could all just take the 16 best team spots this year. If 16 teams came up at the same time in league play, hypothetically, they can't all promote. It's not possible because there's a league structure that deliberately limits how many teams and how many players can come up at the same time. Whereas now there's nothing limiting them. It is an open format.
Okay, Johnny. Well, how about this then? If you don't make the major, then you gotta play for your life again or something like that. Actually, that's a little cruel. How about 18?
Still
How
not
about,
open.
how about
That's
18? That was a little crazy about me. I just said something.
Well, okay.
I
want you
like the 16, but like this one, because six is a good turnover. Because you gotta think about it. This why I need to when I say these things, I need to go and look at like the numbers of it. For example, since this open system, BDS is dominated. BDS is one team that's always been there. The Moist came up randomly, and other than that, like it's like random EU teams. They
Well,
all be in
actually,
league play.
interesting.
Like when is that?
I don't-
What
Bates, you want
region's like
examples? You know
25 teams
Giants.
deep?
Bates, listen, you know Giants, the team from EU that came second in the first split right after season 9. It was the Spanish team.
Yeah.
Steak Samway's team. Yeah, they didn't qualify for RLCS that season. They didn't make it. They lost one weekend in promo relegation after I think finishing second or third in the rival series that season.
That was 10
And they had one
teams.
bad weekend, and they got knocked out by a team that had just gone 0-9.
I think there's definitely
Or
better
0-8 or
ways
something.
for how
better ways to
play-ins,
handle
bro.
the
Play-ins
play-ins.
sucked.
Plans
back
were
then.
ass.
Like
Because
you
could
definitely
do
had
so
to do
great
it over
already.
multiple
agree.
weekends somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know a format for it, but you definitely had to do it over like 3 or 4 weekends.
What, multiple, like, kind of let's do lots of events
Qualifiers,
and figure out
yeah,
who's the best
yeah.
over many
you gotta
events?
figure out-
Yeah, I can think of a few ways
Bro,
that we can do that.
play-ins back then were so bad. People put in like
Johnny,
140 hours
Johnny,
past 2 for a
Johnny,
double elim
Johnny,
bracket. Oh,
Literally,
It
you
sort of
didn't catch
seems
it.
like
Wait,
the
is
solution to
play-ins
league
like
play.
promo relegation? Is that the same thing?
no,
Yeah.
no. Play-ins
play-ins
is
a
like
qualifier,
for
yeah.
RS, like where
Oh,
everyone outside
yeah.
of RLCS is in a double elim bracket, and it was the worst day of my life 3 times in a row. I lost in Game 5 overtime in the uppers right before the qualifying match, and then lower qualifying match, Game 5 overtime.
See, if you ask me, that sounds like a much harder way for new talent to break in to the scene.
Yeah,
than
because
what we have now.
That's a
they've
bad
done over that
argument.
one
But
Tbates. You need to
You
leave
need
that
to, like-
one. Leave
you
the
need to
new
leave that one
talent
a bit.
argument. It's bad. Even if a new talent's coming in, like they might be making like one swap if you want to get on top. It's a terrible argument. Go somewhere else. Like I'm looking
But
out.
why
for
are
you
people
here.
saying that full teams can't make it? Because like even the old format, we made it. PK or
Yeah,
Peeps or
but
whatever.
we're saying that if there was like
SSG
a
made it.
bunch of Retals, what we're saying is that if there was a bunch of other like absolutely better than the teams in the league teams, and they all came up at the same time, wouldn't be possible for them all to qualify. Because there's not enough ways.
How
What?
realistic is that?
Let's be realistic here. Do you really think there's gonna be like 10 teams that are better
If that's
than
the
league
argument
teams in
against
league play at the
replay, then
moment?
it's like,
Do you
come
want me to
on,
give you an example? Tell me how many of the teams that would have been in RLCS Season 9 league actually finished top 10 in RLCS Season X in Europe. How many, or even better, how many of the teams in the RLCS Season 9 league actually finished top 10 in RLCS Season X? How many?
You'd have to say season X fall. You can't say the whole season. That's just like a year and a half. That's way too long.
Well, okay,
But-
half of the year, because that's how long a league was. You could look at 2 splits, but
Fair enough.
there were
I-
so
I-
many
I-
new teams in Europe.
but
So
that's
many
just-
new
it's-
all of the
it's
old,
so
like,
different.
washed...
That's such a
all
big
the,
difference.
Bates, all of the old
Johnny.
washed talent that were kept teaming with their friends and, like,
Yep.
hanging on for dear life.
Yep, they were hanging on.
Got eliminated because
And we
as
all
soon as
wanted
it-
them out. I wanted them out. You wanted them out. Johnny Boy
But if we
17,
go
you're
back
20,
to
wanted them
league,
out.
but if we go back to league, then that'll just enable teams
No, it won't.
to hang on to a league. And if we even worse, if we go back to franchising, you'll just have a content team that will
Oh, I
own a
never said
structure
franchise.
orgs rich,
I never said
and they're gonna
franchise.
like never give up their spot. They're gonna finish. They're gonna brand themselves about going 0-15 every year. They're just gonna like hang on to the league. They'll be the worst team in the league every year. They're just gonna sell T-shirts with that on them.
Team, no, not if the major spots are so limited. No, you're not gonna have people holding on to these bums. These bums who don't just do absolutely nothing. They're not gonna do it. They don't do it right now. You got to keep the major spots still limited. They're gonna keep making them changes. I want that young kid. Even if he didn't make the rival series, even if he didn't make RLCS, hey, let's pick him up. He's good. I like him. It's gonna happen. And you will not. I don't think you will ever see people just sitting on talent like that ever again.
Well, like NRG.
NRG.
Yeah, if we were back to a league and NRG had a franchise spot, they cannot.
Oh well,
ever
if you
be
franchise
eliminated.
it, yeah, I'm not talking about franchise.
Yeah, they're just gonna hang
we don't need to
about.
go there. I'm talking about league play. We can keep the franchising out of it. Push that to the side. We don't even need to talk about that. I'm not a franchiser. Esports doesn't have enough money for franchising. I think that's what people need to realize. It's not possible to be realistically done. And also, you need to be able to have like stadiums and stuff, which once again isn't possible. So franchising, that's a pipe dream that people need to just start putting to the side, put it down. We don't need to talk about that league.
It'd
play
be
none
so
of that.
much fun though. Could you imagine like city teams like
Yeah, it'd be
traveling
cool.
to different cities like
It'd be-
every other week?
It'd be
That'd
sick,
so
but it's
dope.
just like we ain't got $1 billion industry. League play
I
is
know.
doable. League play is
What
doable.
do we think about LAN League play?
LAN league play? I mean, COD did that. It's cool. It's cool. I mean,
What
it's
about
like-
LAN
Mm.
regionals? Wouldn't that be even better still?
I think that would be.
That would be absolute
ideal.
chaos.
I would love LAN regionals. to
What
be
do you mean
honest.
chaos? People they're demanding the DreamHack circuit to come back. That's basically what
LAN
it would be. The
regionals?
DreamHack circuit.
You
I
pay-
feel
yeah,
like
but then that's a pay to play. You have to pay to get there. You have to pay to
Tbates
play.
used
in
the
a
word
regional.
regional,
Not
and
Yes,
he's
it is.
like,
necessarily.
Yes, it is.
No, not
And then
if,
the open isn't open no more,
Regional.
Johnny. I have to pay to get to the LAN. I have to pay. If I'm from Seattle, I gotta pay all the way to go to Atlanta. I ain't got the money for that. It's pay to play. No,
I mean,
LAN
right now
regionals
it's
doesn't
pay to
work.
play. You got to buy a computer. You got to get internet connection. Like, not everybody can afford that. Like, well, you've got to draw the line somewhere.
Wait, are you saying if there's like
You know what I
I know
mean?
but obviously, Bates, the qualifier for the regional will be online, so like you don't have to pay to play in the qualifier. You just like have to, once you've qualified, they would fly you out. Like
I think
obviously.
I think every regional is unrealistic, but like either regional 2
Yeah,
or
some.
3, or even
Yeah.
1. But like one regional split online would be pretty cool.
If there was like,
Isn't-
imagine it
I don't
wasn't
know.
regionals and
I
it
don't know
was
which
just
one would
like
be most important.
stage 1, like let's get this like big group of teams down to like 16, and now they play a regional, and the best teams from that regional will go to the major, and that regional could be a LAN. Like it doesn't necessarily, the open circuit doesn't need. You guys don't like how repetitive it is. You don't like how it's confusing. It doesn't need to necessarily follow the same thing like regional 1, regional 2, regional 3. It doesn't have to do that. It could just be like, let's look at the NA, like you call it whatever you want, qualifiers, the regional play, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. It starts off with a big open qualifier, then there's a closed qualifier for teams a little bit better than that. Then there's the the first stage, NA online. We've got 32 teams. We're gonna get down to 16, and those 16 are gonna go play in a North American LAN to try and qualify for the international major. Every region's doing this. 2 events.
I don't know.
So much
I
money.
actually don't know if I like it. I think
So
Yeah.
much money. And it's
esports.
too quick of a turnaround. And you have to change the age to 18. There's like so many factors going on. You can't
You
just
don't have to change the age to 18.
you can't just pick up a like imagine though. Imagine,
bro, if it's
like,
a weekend LAN, you take a Friday and a Monday off of school. It's 2 days. Like
Yeah, it doesn't
It's
even have to
not-
be like a really
Bro.
come
super
on now,
long
that your
format.
parents will do that, but not every single parent doing that. It's
I
cool
think the
matters to some of these
advantage
kids
of
now.
the advantage of esports is that like we can.
Okay.
I don't think there's no point going away from like too much online. I think the best part about the international events is they're always on LAN, which is like
Yeah.
really special. Well, I don't know about regional LANs. I think that'll take away a little bit of the magic, and I think it's just like there's not much point to it. Like just let the people play online. Like we're not a regular sport. We can play.
Well, like I've got one
online.
point for it, CJ. One point is that teams that do well on LAN don't always do well online, and if like we're trying to figure out who are the best teams from North America to send to the international LAN, surely it would be best to figure out which ones of the NA teams beat the other NA teams on a LAN, because they're probably going to do better at an international LAN, and then you'd
It
actually
feels-
have a little bit of LAN practice before this fall major, which started off day 1. Absolute howler for a lot of the teams there. I was like, what's going on? These teams look so rusty on LAN. Whereas if you've got a regional LAN before that, international LAN's going to be so high level, it's going to be ridiculous. The quality
That
of play
used to be an argument that I made where like it felt like there was some onliners. There was a lot of onliners, but I feel like now like the new kids coming up, they're all playing just as well on LAN. Like
Gamers.
Well, there was a lot of teams
don't think
falling
that's
out this past LAN. There's a lot of like teams falling out in person. They didn't have any problems online, and then as soon as they get in person, it all starts going wrong.
Who falls out?
I don't want to call anyone out publicly because that's up
like
to them.
like
That's
their
internal
chemistry,
issues. Let's just say internal
okay.
issues.
yeah, but there were
Yeah.
teams falling out, but they were still good enough to be there. Like I don't think it wouldn't.
Yeah, I think by the end they figured it out. Day 2 looked a lot better. Day 3, okay, now we're talking. This is good stuff. Day 4 as well, phenomenal. Like the Rocket League was great, but like I reckon like a regional LAN I think it's a very interesting.
Seems like a
idea.
logistical nightmare.
Anyway, to sum up the league play, in my opinion, on the
Mhm.
league play open form, I think league play, yeah, it's purely just about matchups, whereas open format is about results. And I think I'd much rather it just be about like give us a
Is it
weekend.
open about matchups?
Open's about resuls. It's
No,
it's
league
about
play's
like the
about
whole
results.
collective. But league plays about like the individual head-to-heads every week. That's it. There's head-to-heads in the open format, but you've got like you're playing 18 games in a weekend. You're not playing one. If you league plays about like let's prepare for this person. Oh my god, we've got the 16th seed this week. You're playing
That's
one
right.
series.
That's about
Open-
results.
No, it's
I'm gonna
no,
let you finish.
it's
I'm gonna
not.
let you finish.
It's about open format's about like your placement. It's not about like who you beat on the way.
It's
You know
about
what I mean?
consistently placing like high in the
it's the other way around.
qualifiers.
Yeah, I'm saying it the other way around though, because that's why I'm confused. Because open's about matchups. You can get the
Open
right
is
matchups
100% about
twist,
matchups.
and then that sets you up to then all you gotta do is perform on the Sunday. That's why
But yeah,
like
Retals, would you
if I could avoid G2 and NRG or something like that back in NRG's heyday, and I play I'm Optic, for example. Optic, they go 2-0, G2 drop one down, so and then they drop to Complexity or something, or Shopify. Complexity or Shopify. They're the other 2-0 team. I get to play them rather than get to play G2. Correct me if I'm wrong, Slater, but I'd rather play one of them, right? And that makes and then like that's a matchup. And so like now I got the easier road technically in my head. Now whether or not that actually happens, if I handle my business, then I'm number 1 seed going in to Saturday, Sunday. I'm great. That's a matchup thing. 'Cause I got to avoid you.
No, I just think sometimes you're gonna get. It's just like the rub of the green. Like sometimes you're gonna get a good run, sometimes you're not gonna get a great run, but overall, like it's gonna even out. Like everyone's gonna get it pretty similar. So I don't think it's
Say
like.
that.
Well, okay, you can't just like make that face Tbates without telling us which team hasn't qualified for a LAN who deserved to qualify for a LAN since the open format started.
I think it's the other way around. I think there are teams
do you not think it's been really consistent?
Spring Envy, dude, or Optic or whatever they were, dude.
They qualified over NRG,
and
I think both of them like had very bad results. Envy,
yeah, they
had
very bad results, but Envy had the craziest brackets I've ever seen in my entire life. Let me find.
But NRG, no, we actually went over this Retals in the show. NRG lost to a lot of those teams that Envy then beat, and Envy weren't getting credit for beating them. But people are glossing over the fact that NRG is literally losing to these teams. NRG is losing to a team, lower bracket, they're out. Envy beats that same team, upper bracket, advances, and nobody's giving them credit. Like Envy were like definitely not phenomenal.
I don't think it was NRG. I'm pretty sure
it
it's Complexity.
NRG were pretty shocking as well, though, in the spring last season.
But I don't think it was NRG. Well. I think it was Complexity that was like close to.
I think it was NRG. Because I swear everybody was saying NRG deserved that spot, and I was defending Envy. Like, I don't think so. NRG played pretty badly this split.
And it's not necessarily about saying somebody deserves something. It's about somebody getting screwed over, so it's taking a chance from them. Who was the team with Atomic with the K that played BDS every single regional?
Luminosity.
They got screwed over. There's nothing you can do. That's not even fair to them. They're playing the best team in the world.
The reason that happens
every time, and they're getting seeded.
But listen, the reason that happened is because the RLCS is currently seeded with what you call perfect seeding. So every time that an RLCS group or an RLCS like double elimination bracket is seeded, it's seeded perfectly. So the 16th best team plays, or the worst team plays the best team. Second best team plays the second worst team, and
that's
so on.
That's not true though. It's like it's seeded for the perfect playoff bracket.
Yeah, the perfect. So yeah, you're right. It's seeded for the perfect playoffs. I didn't want to go too detailed here in case I lose some people, but essentially, perfect seeding does lead to a lot of matchups happening again because at the end of a season, the ranks don't move a lot. So if you're the same rank going into the next event as you were last time, and the team that you played last time is the same rank, you're going to play them again. But the whole pool system I talked about earlier could avoid that, where you play, if you're a pool C team, you're like ranked 9 to 12, you play against somebody ranked 5 to 8, and then it's like, random draw. Instead of just being perfect seeding, they could do pool seeding in groups and, get different kind of matchups. They can even have an avoid rematch clause if you guys don't like rematches to that like level.
I think the best middle of like me and Tbates on league play and then you guys on this open format, or not even just like the open part of it, but I think it was WSOE that had like the 2 groups of 6. Like a 2 group of 8 format, I think would be pretty good. You round robin.
I would like that.
It might not have to be over like one weekend because 7 group matches is kind of insane in one weekend. But like maybe 2 weekends or 3 weekends where 2 groups of 8, you play everyone in your group. Top 2 of each group go to uppers. Top 2 or 3 and 4 go to lowers or something like that. I just don't think. I think there's too many formats where you play 3 series in Swiss, you play 3 series in groups where you can get unbelievably bailed out by your group, or you can get screwed by your group. And I think it's the deciding factor when there's only 5 land spots, and if you get screwed one tournament, what are you supposed to do? Like, obviously you have to beat everyone.
We totally agree with you on that, though. We totally agree.
Some formats are terrible. Yeah,
but double elimination should never be used as a qualifier format. The spring double limit is like it's a joke, in my opinion.
Like, I don't know if you're saying it, but it feels like what Tbates is saying is that he wants like the league play to just be like this, like stretched out version to then just get like it feels like we can do what league play you want league play to do in terms of getting the best teams into a playoff. We can do that in one weekend with a good format. Like we just need to not have
the formats we play right now aren't the formats that would be.
Agreed. Yeah, I think there's some tweaks that need to happen, but yeah, our whole point is that we don't think it needs to be league play because I think the formats are the problem, not the fact that it's an open circuit.
I also think it would be easier if regionals and if they went over 2 weekends. Did regionals not go over 2 weekends back in the day? I swear they did. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so.
Oh no, I'm thinking of like there was like a month gap in between regionals. That's what I thinking of, but
some weekends
there were 2 weekends in RLCS, what Direct said. Yeah, I think like 8 or 2 group 8 team each, like 2
Retals,
weekends.
what about 4 groups of 4? Because it takes a while. 4 groups of 4, except if there's 3 regionals and a split, you get different teams wherever possible in your groups in each one. And that I don't need to explain how that's possible, but let's just say
I'd like it. I just think it's hard, and I think there's gonna be it's gonna get to a point where like that third regional is gonna get to a point where like everyone's played. Everyone in the groups are gonna be unbelievably unrealistic. Like there's gonna be like a group that's like the 2, 4, 6, 7 seed, just because like
no, it would never do that.
Already...
It would never do that. It would be pool seeding. So the way you'd do it is you'd have a rigorous like seeding like qualifier, system before the split even starts to rigorously seed the teams, and those seeds would remain the same the entire split through. The 16
like
teams
a 1, 4, 5, 8,
they would stay
9,
the same
12.
the entire way through. So your 16 teams would not change. And then they would be seeded into pools, and you would just do what I explained earlier. So like there's some big changes there, but I think it is possible to fix all your problems without needing a league play. We could keep all the excitement and all of the consistent events.
I think it's Rainbow that does
for
it.
fans.
Oh yeah, it's
like
I don't think it's
not
though.
Fans, Johnny.
I don't think it's confusing at all.
It's hard to follow.
What do you got, Rizzo?
I went to RocketLeagueEsports.com just to check it out.
The website
it has the upcoming broadcast, but it doesn't tell me a single team. It doesn't tell me the format. It just tells me what day it is and what time it is. But I get no other information. So like if they started with that, simply that, tell me teams and format and how it works, get a picture, even just a little picture or something, just to show me what the format is. That would tell me, because I don't know what the format is. Like you guys are explaining it, and I'm like, I have a guess in my head.
It's I only know because of Wikipedia. I don't.
Yeah, exactly. I would look at Wikipedia too.
Not everyone know, obviously, like the casual fans, they're like, what the hell is Wikipedia? They don't know anything.
Yeah, exactly. No, I totally agree with you. I'm on board with you there. That there needs to be a better job done of explaining how things happen. But I don't think things are too confusing though. You could have like every regionals groups, pre-done before the split even starts. If you just lock the 16 teams that qualify for that split, and you don't have qualifiers every single region.
There's the whole talk of like bubble players only getting one chance.
Johnny, now you just made it completely not open.
There's a whole circle.
No, it's still open because you can qualify for every split instead of every regional. But then you probably want to supplement that with like there's a lot of talk in the bubble scene recently about other events for the bubble, and I can get on board with that.
Series.
Yeah, or like it's some kind of secondary circuit.
You're getting there.
A secondary circuit, not a league. I hate league for Rocket League because it doesn't make sense. Like in terms of entertainment. It's just too repetitive.
Let's
We've
not
tried
get,
it before
let's
for
not get
years.
back into this one, boys.
I just think we don't need to go there.
It'll never end.
Look,
if you click on the fan rewards section of that website, though, they've done that part well. That thing just pops out at you. Oh my god!
Link now. Oh yeah, that's good.
That just blasts at you.
All right, let's go for a topic switch here. We talked about formats. We talked about the transfer window, league play versus open circuit. We got all that fleshed out now. But not last week, like 2 days ago, Tbates ends up tweeting on Twitter something about super teams. Tbates, could you tell me a little bit more?
Here we go.
About that whole thing? What you're
thoughts? It was Stumpy,
you versus
right?
Stumpy.
It was big Stumpy because for those of y'all who didn't know, 2v2 double visions hosted by Dazzler in his previous weekend. Slater claims that he would have been able to do some damage. He might have been able to do something. I don't know if he still got the 2 juice in him.
No.
And you could play with anybody, and Daniel and Beastman were on the same team, pre-jumping passes, not even common, absolutely dominating every single about it until they played the last series, where they actually had to try for a second against LJ and Chronic. And then Stumpy tweeted that saying, oh my God, quote tweeted that clip that Dazzler tweeted out saying, oh my God, this is so amazing. NA, you're sitting on a gold mine. You need to make this happen. And I said, why are you advocating for super teams? Because to me, super teams ruin the game. They ruin it from a fan perspective because there's no reason to watch. There's no reason.
So are you saying just Daniel and Beast Mode on a team is a super team? Doesn't matter their third. Obviously, it matters a little bit.
Oh no, their third matters.
Okay.
The third has to be a competent player. You can't just have a bum. You put Retals on that team, they're world champions. They're world champions.
I was so excited.
I didn't know if you were going to call me a bum. I thought he was going to call me the bum. I was like, man.
Yeah, you can't put Retals on that team. No way.
So You probably and like Retals isn't like the floor of that. Like I'm just saying like Retals' first name. I'm looking at him. Like you put like just a like Retals is
Well,
better than
you said
complicated.
LJ. You made a video about this, and I in your video you said LJ just to give people a realistic
World
example. If Space Station signed Beast Mode, you said in your video that you wouldn't have to watch because you already know that they're going to win.
Yeah,
That's why it's boring.
yeah.
I think you guys need to take a good long look at who has won the championship in Rocket League for the last like 5 years. It's never the team with the most talent on it, except maybe
that's wrong.
BDS.
BDS. Oh, hey, Slater, you didn't watch my YouTube video. Cause then I explained. Then I explained. I said super teams. Super teams are teams that are formed non-organically, that are comprised of players that are like top 5, top 10, maybe even top 15. So they come together to win the trophy. And then I broke it down. Because so you
what do you mean non-organically? Can you clarify that?
Non-organically to where Daniel and Beast Mode are not on the same team at all. They're going to join forces and they're going to add somebody else to win a championship.
How else would a roster change
At what
happen?
point? How do you get on a team without joining someone?
Yeah, I'm confused. I'm still confused.
Everyone has to pick one team at the start of their career and come up with
what's
them.
an organic team?
Whoa.
Let him speak. Let him cook.
Whoa. You get like, of course, I guess you want to get all technical. All these teams aren't gonna be non-organic, but like for example, when you compose the C9 roster, the Muffin Men back then, like people like wanted squishy and all that to perform and all that, but they weren't like, oh, they're gonna form together, they're gonna be the world champions. It's like, oh, they have potential and stuff like that, and then they come together and they become a really great team. And I was hardcore thinking about it. And you might want to say C9 is a super team back then. I don't think so, because people were all automatically assuming that they're going to win tournaments every single time they played.
Or no one,
dude.
No, they weren't a super team. They
and
didn't
like
even win NA. Like they're not a super team.
Okay. They were a great team though, and it provided like competition. And then I was thinking about it. Like even when Turbo joined VP and K-Dop, people weren't just assuming that our team was gonna be a dynasty.
Okay, so your
dynasty,
definition, definition is that you can't be
like they're come the odds-on favorite. Like no matter what, I expect them to win. That's why I said in my video I said the only team that's ever happened like that was BDS when they had a Seiko. That's the only team that people say it's over.
Yeah,
that's the only team.
FaZe got hyped unbelievably.
I mean, FaZe got, but there's different. You can get hyped up. You can get
hyped
up.
No, but FaZe got many super team calls.
You said
but the biggest one was SIP. SIP getting added was like,
yeah. Like,
there were super team calls everywhere.
Yeah, you said a team that comes together and people are like, they're gonna win every event. That was literally FaZe. People saw them come together.
No. I said you have to be top 5, top 10. Top 15 in the world. Was SIP still top 10, top 15? No. Depends on who you're talking. These are bona fide. Daniel and Beast Mode are top 5.
SIP was still like top 10.
7
was
years.
like talked about as like the best player in NA.
Come on, Slater. You know SIP wasn't no top 15, top 10 back then when he left.
Well, in the world, no. In NA, yes.
In the
world, probably not. Because
in the world,
he was in top 3
No, in the world.
I could give him a top 10 though. Like I think at that time, a top 10 maybe.
I think he's top 10.
In the world,
he was still top 3 NA.
After Sypical failed to qualify for the fall major with SSG, and then he joined FaZe, he's top 15 in the world at that point.
No,
I think there was a big bro. I was on the team. There was like a huge thing with that. His individual skill was like never. It was always like he lost complete motivation once we sucked. Like he stopped playing the game, but it was never like his skill never left him. Once he started playing the game again, he was still SIP. That never left.
I mean, yeah, he's still great, but there's people who are better than him.
Not top 15 though. It's too many players. Because like Mina got added. There's like at least a couple players in Mina better than SIP.
Mina back
Jan's better than SIP.
I know it's better than SIP back then.
You're telling me you can't think of 12 EU? Yeah, Ahmed is better. TRK was better. Jan was better than SIP. Easy, no discussion. And then you've got like all you've got to do is find 12 players from NA plus EU that's better than Sypical. That's not going to be difficult. Not going to be hard.
Exactly.
Like at that time.
Thank you.
And in fact, not just then. I think Sypical's like maybe he's been in and out of top 15 since then. It's not like he's clear top 15 now.
So wait, just to go back, FaZe wasn't a super team.
No, not in my because the fact that we can have the discussion, let alone prove that they're not a super team.
I'm saying they were a super team. You're just disagreeing. So you're saying that
who are you saying is this third for this hypothetical team?
That's what I'm saying. The fact that there's a conversation means they're not a super team.
No, actually,
wait.
He disagrees. Therefore, they're not.
Just to clarify, super team. You can't become a super team. You're talking about just forming when you form, that is like a super. So you're not saying like Gale Force, like the dynasties. In this
That's a great
definition
team.
of forming a super team, you can't
when you
become a
take-
super team.
Yeah, like,
It's
right.
just-
I guess if you want to define your super team as like, oh, they became a super team, go ahead. I'm gonna call that a great team. A super team. That's why I make that distinction. The super team is when you take the top players and you add them together.
Rewind. You're saying if this hypothetical Beast Mode Daniel team had LJ, they'd be a super team?
Because you got 2 top 5,
You're
top
saying
10
No,
players in the
LJ
world.
went as
LJ's
far
not
as
top
to
Your
say-
thing was LJ had to be like top 15 in the world. You're saying
No,
LJ's top.
no. LJ don't need to be that. They got 2 other dudes that are. So that means that's all
Okay,
you
yeah, I
need.
see what
You
you're saying.
see them
First
BDS.
show,
They
AJ
won
were
the
top 15 when
okay.
Sip joined.
I just want to poll everybody. I want to poll everybody really quickly.
Or stage
AJ was top 15 in the world.
In season going into fall, probably. They just
was
made
season
top
eight.
4 at fall. Or season 11, sorry. They just made top 4 at the major.
AJ top 15 in the world.
Or they made top 4 with Illusion. No offense to Illusion,
pretty close.
but
Now that
Don't
he could
disrespect
be.
Landlord.
No,
he could be.
he had a good land. He had a good land. He had a good land. I'm not saying.
Guys, we're like stumbling over semantics here. You know, like who a super team is and who isn't. At the end of the day, doesn't matter too much because Tbates doesn't think a certain team's super team. But somebody else might disagree. But like I think the LJ Beast Mode Daniel one's very interesting because Bates, you said they're not going to lose. It takes the fun out of Rocket League because you expect them to win. But I'm telling you truthfully, like I don't think they're going to win like every event in NA. I think they might win one.
It's not about whoa.
But I don't think they're going to be the favorites. I think they will finish if that's a team. I don't think they win like the split. Why?
I think they're the favorites, but saying that they're gonna win like the major, like
they're gonna win the big events. They're gonna win them. They're
not. Like they're not just gonna win.
You can't just say that though. Like it's never.
BDS did.
It's never. Bro,
they also bombed out of the spring major.
Didn't even make them.
Like they won the world championship. They handled business, domination. They dominated basically all the regionals. Dominated them, complete domination.
They played 2 LANs and they finished last in one of them, first in the other one. That shows that they didn't win them all. You're saying that they would always win.
They won.
They didn't always win
one of the regionals as well.
Yeah, Moist won a regional.
Yes, first, second.
First, second, yeah. Something
BDS
G2 also did.
Moist did the opposite, I think, right?
Yeah, so did G2. G2 nearly triple crowned it as well. They got first,
second,
which is exactly. So BDS, in my opinion, with added Monkey Moon and Seiko, 2 top 5 players in the world at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You saw what they could do. It's just like everybody.
Yeah, they came last. They lost to Pioneers.
Okay, so
they had a bad day. You can have a bad
Bro, but why are you acting like they were like BDS was guaranteed to win Worlds? Like
you're telling me that
that's what it was, though.
That's what no one was talking about. They just bumped out of the major.
I don't really
care. They went game 7 with Carbine Corp.
I was about to say the same
series
thing.
Of Furia. They didn't even dominate on that day. Never mind the whole tournament.
But
let's
get
to the nitty gritty though, Tbates. Like, who's a super team? Who's not? What is a super team and what's not? I don't really care. Like, why is a super team bad? Because that seems like your take here.
Because
it doesn't matter who is a super team, but why is the best great teams coming together? Why is it bad?
It's bad because then it just first off it basically makes the whole entire region obsolete. Like that's the only when first touch started. That's what I was trying to get through people's head. And BDS wasn't a super team back then. They were just a great team with Mark by 8. They were dominating. It was irrelevant to watch BDS. The only reason EU was it was relevant to watch EU unless you're just an EU fan. The only reason you tune in is because we'd be like, oh, cause there's that theory of what would they do against NA? Oh my gosh, are they really the best team in the world? Because we hadn't seen it. Now imagine what if that BDS team then took what they did on an EU and then just started slapping everybody at LAN as well. Well, why am I watching no more? And then from that point, because there already is so much roster turmoil, everybody wants to make it. Everybody wants to win as well. So then you're going to create it to where people are just going to become an arms race. More and more teams are just going to consolidate all the best players in the world all into one team. And nobody's competing against one another. So like, sure, Retals made a point before we got on that, like, say, like, Beast Mode, Dan, and then, like, I said, like, even, like, FK. Like, to propose that example, we're all a team. That basically nullifies, like, three other NA teams. It only makes it where they compete against one team, and then everybody else, they might make land spots, but why? Those are irrelevant because you just want to see the one team because that's the only team that can really compete and actually contend. Everybody else is going to be like this.
They would have competition. I would love to see how Beast Mode Daniel FK would
that
go
would be
against
no
Gen
competition.
G. I'd love to see how they'd go against Furia if like the Furia transfer rumors are coming through are accurate.
Okay.
I'd love to see them play against G2. I don't think that they would.
No team in the world competes
on paper when you're looking at that team, you would say, yeah, that's the best in the region.
Nonsense.
But Bates, are you saying that the team has no chance to lose?
No, they have a chance to lose. It's just gonna be like it's so watered down, and like they have to have an off day, like BDS did at spring. They have to have an off day. That is what they need to have in order for them to like not
John
win.
said, though, you got to remember that like these won't be the 3 best players in North America forever. Like think of like John said, First Killer Miss Sip were the 3 and maybe Justin were the 3 best players in Season X. Season 11 comes around, you have Beast Mode, you have AJ, you have Daniel, you have all these, like, talent will always come up. It's never, I think that you think the skill gap is way bigger than it really is. Like 3s, the skill gap is not nearly as big as you think it is.
Yeah, it's not. It really isn't.
Whoa. The skill gap, like in terms of like, yeah, you cannot like aerial and move as well as Daniel, stuff like that. You can still contend to bend some, but eventually it comes back to bite you. Especially when all 3 of them can do it.
Sure, and they'll win tournaments and they'll probably win lands. But saying that like
the majority of them.
No, they would win the majority.
No, they
throw.
won't.
This is like that. Tbates, you
wouldn't.
criticized Stumpy for saying this exact words you just said back in the day. He said that BDS would win the majority of lands if there were lands.
They
during,
won a super
like,
team
the
back
pandemic.
then. That's why I was trying to
I'm
let
just
somebody
saying.
know.
Has there been a super team in
That was
Rocket
the
League other than like
most-
Gale Force in your
No,
eyes?
it's
BDS
been-
had the
BDS
most
is the only
dominant
super
run.
team. There's no
BDS had the most dominant results out
They
of
just
any
had,
team.
they went dead
historically.
last in Major in spring.
That's because they had a bad day. Take that bad day
This
out.
is
They
like
have dominated.
this is such copium though. You can't
That's
just
not
say
copium.
It's
Listen,
a
you
one
can't just say,
tournament
this is what
sample
you're doing,
size
Bates.
then.
Bates, you're saying hypothetically,
2.
if Dan,
If they're
FK, and
peaking
Beast
the
Mode
whole time.
played together, they would never lose.
They won't
That's what
need
you're
to
saying.
peak.
No, listen, you're saying that the 3 like NA super team would never lose ever, and then
They
we're
would
saying,
lose.
well,
They could
actually,
lose.
there have been super teams such as BDS with Seiko, such as
That's
Gale
the only
Force
one.
back in the day.
Gale Force wasn't
like,
a super team.
No, well, it doesn't matter whether they're organically a super
Gale Force
team.
was
They were
way
the
more
most
of a super
dominant
team than
team
BDS is.
ever. They were the most dominant team ever, and even they lost like so many events. Gale Force came second a bunch. They didn't win everything
Because they weren't a
the year-
super team.
No, they were the most dominant team in Rocket League history. Like, let's not get like bogged down in
Dominant
semantics.
team in Rocket League history. That's just because they lucked up in Game 7. like they weren't like
What, bro?
Cloud9 was every bit as
You
dominant.
can't
as
luck up for like
Others
2.5
so
years.
lucky.
They
So
both got
lucky.
5 land wins.
So
They got
lucky that
5.
Fireburner and
2.5
Garrett drove into
years.
each other. That's so
Gale
lucky.
Force
Their
had a
opponents were
presence
bad.
about
Sorry,
them.
I
Gale
just
Force
zoned
was
out. I just
not
zoned
my
out. Did he say Gale Force got lucky for 2
In
years?
season 5, yeah.
No,
So
I said they got lucky for
Season
that.
5.
How many
season
lands?
five bump. They got lucky. Anyway.
Oh, it's so
my-
lucky that they reverse. They
Tbates. Oh
reverse
my
swept
God.
the bracket.
Anyways,
Gale
regardless,
Force, hold
Cloud9
on. Gale Force was a team not to be messed with. I played that team on multiple
I knew you
occasions.
did.
And when you
suffer
played
from
them,
PTSD.
when
So
you played them, you
might
knew
need to go
it
to
was an
therapy for that.
L instantly.
You might need to go to therapy for that. You're suffering from PTSD. I'm
There's
providing
never, there has never, and
Come
probably will never
on.
be a team as dominant
There
as that
will
Gale Force
never
was.
And there will never be a team.
because they can perform when it
There
matters.
will never be a Gale Force
There
again.
but-
there will
y'all missed my
never
point,
be a
though. Y'all missed my
team
point,
with the presence of Gale Force of what they had.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
just like
mental-
on the pitch, but at lands.
Ominous.
Like it was
Ominous.
dig. It was like far out. Look at these guys.
Boss music.
It will not be. BDS are nowhere near that.
Congratulations. Y'all on your own heads. Cloud9 didn't worry about that. That's why they whooped them. That's why they whooped them, and that's why they whooped them.
Oh,
Yeah,
Tbates.
3 years later.
Tbates, every time. Dude, yes, they dominated for 2 years, and you said, yeah, Cloud9 didn't have to worry about the whatever. I beat them too. I beat them in a grand
Yeah, you
final.
beat them at E-League.
Let's
I
go,
mean,
Rizzo.
sure
did.
Come
You
on now.
sure did.
All right, JNS
Yeah,
beat them in an
yeah,
E-League.
yeah,
We remember
yeah,
JNS
yeah,
from that tournament. Like, come
That's the
on.
point I'm making, though, because they might have been ominous, but it didn't feel like you couldn't beat them because they weren't a super team. I had to
Bates,
say,
listen,
you put
Bates.
Beast Mode, Dan, and FK on the same team. You
Bates.
walked into that, and you're hoping that first killer forget how to hit the ball.
Bates, can you just hold on for a second here? Bates, 1 second. Like, I can't take anything you say about GFE seriously. Gale Force Dig. I can't take anything that you say about them seriously because there's so many outlandish takes. Like, you think that. You said this in your recent video on this topic as well, that Turbo wasn't a top 10 player in the world when he joined NRG. Listen, let me finish for everybody who wasn't watching the video. That you said
close.
Turbo wasn't a top 10 player in the world when he joined NRG. Arguably not even top 15, top 20. There's
I
a
didn't say
reason
top
he was
20.
available. You did. You said top 20. I transcribed it directly from your video.
Oh, maybe I
There's
did.
a reason he was available at that time because he wasn't as great as he used to
That's
be.
right.
It's not like that team automatically became a super team when Turbo joined. NRG, that is. Now, I can't take you seriously right now because Turbo is definitely a top 20 player in the world. He
Wait a
didn't
second,
leave
time out,
GFE.
Johnny.
He didn't leave Dig because he was bad. He left because he wanted to leave. He didn't like playing with that team
they
anymore.
couldn't win. That's why.
No,
they couldn't win.
They were still the
Even at
best team.
season
They were the
7?
best team in the world when he left. They were still the best team in the
my bad.
world.
You said D. Yeah, you still. Wait, was
When he
Turbo
left-
season 7 Worlds?
When he left that Dig, when
I
he
wouldn't
left
say they're
Dig,
the best, but
for
they're like
season 6, they were
7th
still
in
the
EU, dude. Like
no,
when,
or are
I'm
you
thinking
thinking
season 7.
Yeah, I'm thinking about
Are you-
season 7. That was
are you
right
saying
Right
when-
before he left.
Right
nah,
before you
Turbo
left,
is
Johnny.
still. He still
Was
had
it
it.
like
I think.
No, he was
No,
not.
no, he 100% had it, but that team
He
definitely
still
wasn't the
had it.
best in EU.
Like,
No,
sorry,
Turbo
they
was,
were-
Turbo was still like top 10, top 15 world season 8. 100%. 100%.
No, when he joined NRG, instantly everybody's thinking, "Oh, that's like worlds." Like,
Okay,
no-
Johnny. So
like
I got a
top
question. Who
three.
did Johnny?
everybody.
I see, but I can't trust you. Well, I'm gonna try to trust you. Well, who you think was gonna win the
You
world
can't trust
championship
me.
in season 8? In season 8, then.
Okay, so I need to give you a little quick history
going
lesson.
into the world championship.
Okay, quick history lesson. I
Actually,
predicted
no,
NRG.
you used to pick energy every year.
I picked them
Yeah.
season 5,
Okay.
6, and 7. I was wrong every time. So then season 8, I don't think I picked them. But I had picked NRG so many events, and then I didn't pick them, and they won. So
Dude,
I was hoping that they would
season
win.
8 was season 8. Everyone either said NRG was winning or Rec was winning. No one, or maybe Vitality. No one had anyone else.
Yeah, that's because
Yeah.
they all slept on y'all though. They're all pissed because y'all took
Bro,
Cloud9
we
and
couldn't
Jitsu out of the
even,
picture.
bro, we couldn't even touch NRG, and we were the 2nd seed from North America. We couldn't touch that team.
I think I predicted them in the finals
What was-
losing.
what-
I
what
think.
was- What was
Season
the thing
8
with Astron? What Astron's on Dig?
Yeah, I
back
was
then?
Dig,
What
but they were
He was
4
in
seed.
Dig
They
test,
got
yeah.
in by reverse sweeping Barca. They had no hype behind them at all before the LAN. No one hyped up Dig. If you say you hyped up Dig, you were lying your ass off.
More people were. I think you go back. More people thought Rec was going to win.
Right, because they were number
NRG.
1 seed.
And that goes
Yeah,
back
yeah,
to
they
my
did
point.
not
Rec
do well.
Not more
wasn't
than
even,
NRG,
Rec
not more
wasn't
than
even a
NRG,
super
though.
team. Rec wasn't even a super team, which means NRG wasn't a super team. They were a great team. That's what y'all understand. The
Wait.
super team is going to be the odds-on favorite.
Do you
Like my
think- do you think
basketball fans
NRG
know this. That's what the Warriors 73-9. You expect them to win. It's boring.
Yeah, okay.
But they lost 9 times though. That doesn't sound that impressive. I've heard like
Bates.
undefeated seasons before.
Bates,
They
no,
lost 9
I'm right
times.
there. No,
Weak.
I'm right there with you. The Warriors season is like super boring. But the point being made here is that is not going to happen in Rocket League. Right? I agree with you. It's boring. Right?
I don't think
nobody-
that's boring. That's widely known as like the best NBA season of all time.
No, the 73-9 team is fun. The next year with KD is boring.
Yeah, like the 3-year super team streak,
Yeah,
right?
3 years KD
Hey,
is boring.
But-
For people in chat who couldn't like understand sarcasm, of course, they were impressive. I'm just kidding you on. Like, I'll let you know though, because apparently people are annoyed that I've said that's not impressive to dominate the NBA.
No,
but
but
okay,
it- but
yeah,
it
a lot
is-
of the
it
most
is
famous
boring
teams.
to go to watch an event and be like, yeah, this person is going to dominate clearly, and then they go on
That's
and win.
that'll
it,
never
and then-
happen in Rocket.
Oh,
League.
okay, but
that-
I'm not
yeah,
trying to
that's my
open
point. That's my
I'm
point.
not trying to open up like a can of beans here. That's well past its sell-by date. But I think that's probably league play to blame.
No,
there. You know,
yeah.
a lot of boring
Back to
matches.
league
you know?
play,
a
come
lot of
on.
boring matches.
League play's
you
way
get
better than
enough-
open
not
Not
circuit.
enough high stakes. But I think
We're back.
some of the most
We're back,
legendary
CJ.
teams. I did want to point out some of the most legendary teams, and even in like solo sports, some of the most legendary competitors are teams that have gone on unbeaten runs. They've never lost for like years in some sports. To give you a couple of examples, the New Zealand rugby team were on a 47-match home win
Here we
streak
go, here it
in
is.
rugby.
Hold on.
And rugby,
What
before
are we
everybody
talking
says,
about,
before everybody
man?
says,
Second.
now listen. Before everybody says, "Oh, what's rugby?" You guys have mentioned NFL so many times this call. Rugby's bigger than the NFL. Okay, so you guys can't laugh at rugby. Rugby's bigger than the NFL. Okay, so anyway, yeah, they were unbeaten 47 matches in a row at home. Google it. Go Google it. Everyone in
I
chat,
don't want to
believe
Google
me.
it. I'm not
Google it.
interested.
Google it. The
I
NFL's
just
tiny.
trust you. I just
NFL
trust you.
Super Bowl, not even like close to the biggest event. The Women's World Cup gets more views than the Super Bowl. You guys are
It's a
clueless in
World
America.
Cup.
Like, come on. The NFL's not as big as you guys in America think it is. You guys are not as big as it's not as big as you think it is.
Right,
Rugby is
no, I think
massive.
we understand the
Rugby's
world is
huge.
bigger than a country, but like,
Nah, because the way that you guys talk about your sports, it doesn't sound like you think the world is bigger than America. I'm just going to say that much. The way you talk about American sports, it sounds like you rate America.
okay, the rugby
very
team.
highly.
What happened with the disc golf team? What happened?
I don't know about disc golf, mate. See, I'm only looking at large
You got the cricket
sports.
numbers up as well. You got the-
No, well, what do you guys think would have happened if Federer didn't dominate? Like, early on in his career.
That's
Do you
individual.
I think
Nadal and
domination is kind of
Djokovic-
fun.
Yeah,
though.
do you not
Domination
think that's
is
really
fun.
unfair that the best player doesn't even need teammates? He could just be the best player and dominate. Like you're
Yeah,
talking about a super
that's
team.
individual.
That's a super player. That's the most like super team you
Exactly.
can get. Is he's literally the best player.
So imagine,
and no one else is allowed to have him.
time out. So imagine rather than Dan beats him on FK, Dan just stay on SSG, do it by himself, and just dominate everybody. That's even
No,
more.
what I'm
Like,
saying is that if there was a super team like FK, Beastmo, Dan, then it would have like the Federer effect. Like all of the second and third best team would have to elevate. They grind like never
they
before.
wouldn't
It's
elevate.
grind
They
like-
would just pick new. They
Nah.
would just pick up new players.
That's fine as
Well,
well.
that's-
It sounds to
that's
me
fine.
like the competition's going to go up. We're going to get better Rocket League, and everybody's going to improve, become more professional. Because this team is dominating so hard that you can't like sleep through scrims anymore. You can't like troll scrims anymore. All these problems we complain about the pro scene that wouldn't
it's
work
different here.
anymore.
I think it's different
Yeah.
here, man. I don't think people
How is
understand
it
how good
different?
Daniel is at this game. Daniel's way too good at this game, man. You don't just
No,
become Daniel.
I'm
No
telling
matter
you.
how much you grind, he's just
Do
different,
you,
bro.
do you think
He's
anyone's
different
sleeping through
gravy.
scrims? Tbates, do you think somebody who really wants to beat Daniel Beast Mode for first killer sleeping through scrims like they
You
used
can
to?
grind
Just trolling
all you
scrims like they
want.
used to.
You can grind all you want. Daniel is the first kid I've ever seen touch this game where I'm telling you that kid's different like that. Outside of like this kid like the more modern, of course, like Justin's back in the day. That kid is different. A lot of people are really good at this game. He moves different than everybody else. I don't see anybody else in the world moving like him. And personally, I don't believe that how much you grind, you can reach that level. He
Bro,
sees
Daniel's
the
never
game
even won a
different.
tournament.
Moving like
Oh, he
Daniel.
never won.
What are you on about?
Time out now. Stop acting like y'all could have won tournaments now. Y'all got a little unlucky now. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me, Slater.
He's one of
And
the
he was a
most
rookie.
talented individual players in the game. It's not close. But to say like that he's completely different, like if this
Yeah.
was by far the best player in the world, we would have won regionals, bro.
I mean, yeah, that's because
We
3v3
would've-
Rocket League. 3v3 Rocket League.
And that's
because
to your super team point. Relax. And back to super team Rocket League, like
Okay, go bring me there. Bring me there.
the best teams in the world, most of the time, are usually the teams with the best system. You have G2, you have BDS.
Best system, correct.
Genji.
Sure. Yeah, even take Gen G, take Chronic, bro. Last year, where was he? Take
Grinding in
Dig.
the bubble.
Take Jack on Dig. Where was he?
Struggling to get his teammates to
Take
play the game.
Nolly. Where was he? Struggling as well.
No, but you see, Retals, that's an organic, accidentally occurring super team, so that's allowed.
Well, no,
It's
that's
just-
no,
they
you love
dominate.
to see
Even
that
if they
because
have
not
super
everybody
team
thought they were just
domination,
gonna be great.
it's fine because we didn't anticipate greatness. We're interested in the greatness. But
That's
if
right.
you thought it was going to happen, oh no, I don't want to see it. I disagree with you, Bates. If FK, Beast Mode, and Daniel teamed, I'm watching every single one of their games because if they're dominant, I'm still watching every single
That's
one of
the
their
only
games.
team I
wanna
wanna
see
watch,
how
though.
long can the win streak go? Who's going to beat them? No, I would still watch Genji. I still watch G2. Still watch
I
Fury. I
wouldn't.
still watch like so many teams in NA. Because for me, I don't think the gap would be that big. I don't think it would be as
it'd
big as you think it
massive.
is.
I think
I
it'd be a
don't-
massive gap.
Even if it is massive, I think it's
I'm still watching even if it is.
Rocket League. Like people going like,
Yeah.
check out this team. Like this
Agreed,
team in this
CJ.
game is like so good that they're dominating.
But
everyone. They'll be
nobody
like,
can
"That's
beat
sick."
them though. It makes my
Yeah,
grand
but
final
people want to
boring.
see why they're so good and what they're gonna do. Like you want to see like how far they can push the ceiling and who can beat them. Like
But
every
then
match you
everybody
think, like,
does that.
Yeah,
So then-
everybody's
so
going to
then,
start
like,
shifting rosters to beat those guys, and then it's
Well,
going
they're going to try exactly.
They're not
which
gonna be
makes
the
rest
top
of the league
forever.
Obsolete. At that point, why is everybody else playing? You start off with one super team, then you end up with like 4 super teams. Why is everybody else playing? You don't just. It'll take like a year
Sounds
until
pretty
somebody
good,
else can
actually.
catch up.
5 super teams, let's go. Like finally, like another good thing for a super team and NA super team would be that NA might become like the dominant region just off the back of that super team, and then all the NA viewers will keep watching. Because one thing that I'm worried about is if like more EU players go over to NA, start winning, then all the NA viewers are gonna be like, I'm not watching this anymore. I don't want to watch. So I want NA to dominate. Like give it to us. Give us like, the NA dominance so that the NA viewers can cheer for like.
and in
an
any
NA
other
team.
sport, like if we didn't have at some point super teams or super players, the sports would not be as popular as they are today. Like
Exactly.
in every sport, all the goats of every sport that have dominated, or super teams like the Bulls or Tiger Woods or Federers and Nadal, stuff like that. The sport would not. If it was just every week, oh, it's so close, anyone can win, anyone can come up. No one care. I don't really care.
Yeah, if
Like,
it's
I think we
50-50, it's
need
more
the
boring.
super teams. Imagine if you had like
I'm with
in
you,
golf,
CJ.
like no one was as dominant. It's just every week it was one, you won one tournament and then that was it, and then another team won, and then another player came in another one, and then another player. That is actually way more boring
Yeah,
than creating legacies and creating these super teams, super players. You can't tell me that if the NBA never had like these super teams or these eras of just super players, that it would be as
Yeah,
popular
why-
or as
Yeah. Why are the Bulls so famous? Like
Because
they're
of
the most
Michael
famous-
Jordan.
Because they won all the time. It wouldn't
No,
matter if
because
they
they
had
had Michael Jordan.
Listen, if they've lost every NBA final, nobody would care about them. They would because they lost. It's because they won. It's because they
Michael Jordan.
dominated. Yeah, because he was really the best player on the best team, a super team. I've seen the
I don't know if he
documentary on
was on the
Netflix. It was called a super
it's
team in
called
the documentary.
propaganda. It's called
It was a super
propaganda.
team.
That's what the documentary is.
In fact, I'm pretty sure they were struggling, so they signed like one of the other best players in the league, and then they started winning. That sounds like a super
Dennis
team.
Rodman
to me.
was not one of
Sounds
the
like
best
some
players in the league.
shenanigans.
Dennis Rodman was a really good basketball player, though. But he wasn't one of the best players. in
So
the
why
league
did
at
he
that
beat
time.
them and then he joined them and then they won? What's that about? Sounds like a super team behavior.
First off, Jordan was never on a super team. Jordan got Scottie Pippen, one other player that was somewhat competent, and then he started winning championships. He was the best. Which is gonna be the same thing that
That's an
happens when Daniel
organic
picks up
super team.
beast mode. At that point, Daniel gonna start winning all championships. So listen, if y'all want to just see a single team domination, I'm with it. Y'all can. I'm gonna watch anyways.
Bates,
I don't know how
I've
everybody else
never
feels about
seen you. I've never seen you enjoy competitive Rocket League more than when G2 won the Winter Major, followed by 2 regionals in a row. That is the most I've ever seen you enjoy
That's
Rocket
fair.
League. Is when G2
Come on,
dominated. Your
Tbates,
favorite team
that's fair.
dominated. I've never seen you have more fun watching the game and talk about the game as much.
He's
And
going
tweet
up.
about the game as
He's
much.
going up.
Like that is what every
He's
fan of
going up.
every like dominant team does.
Same thing with Envy. Tbates the machine when they're
It's
up
the same
and
thing
about.
with
You're up
GFE.
and
They're
about as well.
big.
The
Same thing with
machine
Flipside
team.
back in the day.
He's going up. That's
Who was the most popular team at the start? It was Flipside. Why? Because they won everything. You tuned in every week to watch Cuxer like freestyling on the competition. It was like you think you've seen Not Close Rocket League? Oh my goodness! Pre-RLCS season 1, they're like Braziling every game, and everybody loved it. They're the favorite team in the world.
Squishy dominate
Iconic.
season 6. He loved it. He loved
Iconic.
it. He loved how
Dominant.
dominant.
Even then, think about
NA Big
think about-
3, most popular teams. Rizzo's like G2,
Think
like
about all,
Cloud9,
the
Energy,
best
dominating.
teams throughout Rocket League, and then like just think about them, right? And then think about how long they actually dominated. How long those teams were actually like the clear best. And even then, even Gale Force, they didn't win everything. There was just a lot of events, so they also won a lot, but they did get second place quite a few times too.
A lot, yeah, they got a lot of seconds.
Turbo
to
got
different
like,
teams.
I'm just gonna guess 5, 6 LAN wins, but he could have had like 9, 10. I don't know the random numbers, but pretty close. They definitely did lose.
Yeah, and that domination will never be seen again. So even the most dominant team in Rocket League history, I don't care if you put First Killer, Daniel, Beast Mode on a team, they're not going to dominate like GFE did.
I mean, there's
They're
not
just
as many
not
Don't
lands,
say
so-
you wouldn't love
There
it.
also
Tbates.
isn't as many
Don't
lands,
say
but-
you wouldn't absolutely
even
love it
if there
they
was as
won.
many lands, it's still they wouldn't
There's just
dominate
too much.
as much.
There's
They'd lose
too
a higher
many good
percentage.
teams
There's
now.
also
Too
too
many good
teams.
regions, too many good teams, too many like incredible players like who are grinding to try and get their first win. They would never First Killer Beast Mode Daniel would probably be the top team in NA or top 2 guaranteed, but they wouldn't like win everything. Your words were, I wouldn't need to watch. You'd need to watch to find out. If
But
they
when
win
we're
or not.
going to look back in a few years' time on like this year or whatever the last year,
They just win. They've won every land since now. Like this team forms next transfer window. Beast Mode Daniel FK have won
but-
everything.
No,
Debates just sitting there.
But like,
Yeah,
say
I love
there's no dominance anymore. Like everyone's so close. It's exciting, sort of in the time, but we're not going to look back and go, how good was it when like no one was really on top and like it was just a mess. You look back and go, look at BDS's RLCSX. You go, look at Gale Force, look at the OG Digs. That's what you're looking back at, those sort of legacies that people built and that dominance. You're not really looking back and how good was it when like you don't even remember
Killer
because
came
like who
fourth
won
all the
that? I
time.
don't know.
Yeah, when people look back at First Killer fourth all the time with like pride. No, they want to see him winning all the time.
Listen. I conceded when he brought up the G2 thing. I didn't have a rebuttal for that one. I lost. You brought up the G2 thing. And then the CJ had the Cloud9 thing, and I started smirking. I couldn't do anything. I mean, listen. I'm just thinking in terms of like the bubble players and like players that aren't good enough to be on those top teams. You're just really hoping.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate they're not as good.
You say it's bad for the game.
Not everyone can be the best.
If we want straight up domination, I mean, go ahead, man. I mean,
give it to us. That would make like so many non-Rocket League fans would tune in to watch the team.
Now I want to see the team form just so we can see the after events. I feel like we could.
I want to see that.
I don't think it's as far as you guys think it is.
Yeah, I don't think it's far at all. I think they would like if First Killer Beast Mode Daniel played and they grand slammed a split all 3 regionals and a major. That would be so hype.
Even if it's just not
dominant.
They would absolutely own at first, I would say, but then teams would figure them out.
Look, even if it's not those 3, even if it's not those three, if we just have another super team, you can't tell me it's not good for the game and good for everything, their whole ecosystem, because you're going to get players from outside the game going, okay, who's this team? Like anyone inside the game is going to go like, hey, mate, you should come watch some Rocket League and check out this team who's absolutely dominating. And okay, that's getting more eyes. And it's people that are playing they're all these young kids watching are going to want to be like this team growing up, the same as like Jordan, the same as all the legacy, your Federers, whatever, Tiger Woods. And then you got the other teams that are in that going, imagine if we could be that team to knock off the number one guys. It's motivating for everyone coming up as well. I don't think there's like a single downside to having a dominance of like a dominating team, a super team. I don't think there's a downside. It's going to elevate everyone.
We've not had it in NA or EU, but Mina have had Falcons and Sam's had Furia, and that is like inspiring like a new generation as we speak. The twins are like right there nipping at Falcons' heels, and like literally whichever team Lost was on was like, okay, these guys are next up. Like there's multiple Sam teams now who are like coming up, and the Furia dominated that region.
Imagine like they win those 3 regionals and they go to LAN. Imagine how hype every single series of theirs would be on LAN. Like seeing if they could actually do it and just like imagine being the team to beat them and like knock them out. It'd be insane.
Yeah, if somebody beats them, it would be legendary because they beat a team that's dominating. That's why Cloud9's winning season 6 was dominating, because Cloud9 were like not in good form coming into the LAN, and they somehow beat the team that no one like thought could lose.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Season 7, we don't have to talk about the final result, but we did play Retals Vitality in groups, and that was like the best feeling win ever because they were expected to just win and dominate the whole tournament, right? And so like when we actually beat them, it was like an unfelt feeling. I don't even know how to describe it, right? Because like they were the clear favorites. So like having that extra motivation is huge.
What about when you beat GFE at E-League? I think it was GFE at the time, not Dig, but yeah, when you beat them at E-League, the unbeatable team, and you actually win the LAN against them.
Yeah, like, that was great as well because after every event, because they usually knocked us out. Turbo would always hug me and be like, "Next time, buddy," or something like that. He would always say something. So then I got to go over and hug him and be like, "It's okay, man."
Yeah, it's like because GFE Dig were so dominant. That's what made the wins against them so exciting.
Exactly.
Like anytime somebody beat them, it was huge.
Tbates, delete that YouTube video. We've got you on the super teams.
I'm not really on the super team wave, but like I said, like y'all can have your. I like when people go up against each other. That's why I like. I'm always gonna like that. But
he's like, I was never for super teams in the first place.
Yeah, I love super teams.
I'm not. Y'all make good points for the super teams.
So. If a team, just to know your opinion on this, if a team organically, like literally, like there's 3 mates, 3 bruvs, they all team up together, and then they naturally organically. Yeah, if they naturally and organically, like they don't make any super team like shenanigans, they don't break up any other teams. They're just like suddenly the best team and they dominate. You said domination's boring. Would that domination be boring? I'm pretty sure you said you said a super team would be boring because they dominate.
Super team domination is boring because I expect it to happen.
So where's the difference between super team domination and organic?
Because I just expect it to happen. Congratulations, but like you formed.
I mean, like Gen G, like you take Gen G for example. No one expected Gen G to be as good as they were.
Surely, some point that domination from your organically formed super team would become
it would become boring at some point. Yeah, but like it'll take a while to get there. It will take a while, but like when you form the team, you expect to win and you win. Yay! That like I don't get excited from that. That was my point with super team.
I mean, guys, we're just talking about Gen G here, right? Like they got second, first.
Like Gen G was exciting though. Nobody expected that.
Yeah.
Right.
But like, so like if you come up and you're dominating.
So you're saying that's more exciting to you, Bates? Is that they formed and then like nobody really expected. People were saying like they're like 8th place in NA, right? And they get second, first. That's like exciting.
Yeah, and they're still like that's like really cool. And if they keep going on, they could become like the new Gale Force, which is the whole point. But the old Gale.
They better not win too much because then it'll be boring and Tbates not gonna watch.
Well, I mean, yeah. After like if they
better not become too good individually either, because then like that's when it gets really tricky.
Tbates can tweet about it. They better be throwing on purpose so you can be back in again.
That's the difference. I like
they gotta stop training. Like seriously, guys, stop getting so good.
Hey.
I think if the best players in the world, so my like summary is, I think if the 3 best players in North America want to play on the same team together and dominate, that sounds pretty cool in my opinion.
Agreed.
And I would definitely watch, and I'd love to see if it would work, and I'd love to see if anybody could like upset them. I don't see any problems with that. However, if that's ruining teams because you're snaking players and transfers last minute, I think that issue is a separate thing entirely. Like theoretically, 3 players dominating, sure, I love it. Why not?
Okay, I kind of got 2 things to maybe potentially finish off the show here, but Bates, I want to know, what do you think of Oxygen now? Super team?
No.
Why? Who is
what's,
it?
What's organic about that?
I mean, like I said, if you want to get technical, nothing's organic. But like, they don't have like.
I would
well,
argue that's
it just
probably
it's
the most super team in the
it's
game.
close.
I'd say that
It's not
they're
as good as
a super
BDS.
duper team.
No, they're not a super duper team. They're not a super
I
duper
would.
team. Like Jorius is too inconsistent. Some games he looks like he's the best in the world. In other games he looks like he's Like it happened in land too. Like when Archie balls out every single time. So like if you want to say Archie's top 10 and Rizzo top 10, like you can.
So
make that.
Jorus is the one doing it for you. He's not. You don't think he's
He's too
super?
inconsistent.
So we need to get rid of him and then replace him with beast mode.
Somehow make it homegrown. Like get Billy on the team. Make it really good.
I want it as unorganic as possible.
Yeah.
But
I do not care
they're
about
really
how
good,
healthy
though,
this
but I
is.
wouldn't call
Just
them, like,
ship Yan
super
over. It's good.
Yeah.
BDS is
Look
still
at
the best team in Europe though.
Nah, they're not.
They
Not
are.
off the back. Not off the recent results.
They
You
are.
can't say that. Nah.
They are. They would have to. BDS would have to show me that they can't play Rocket League no more.
I'm not even gonna start with that one. It's okay.
You can't say that they're the
You
best
can have
team
it,
in
bro.
Europe
You
still.
can have it, bro.
That's
They just
a
got,
great
like,
little.
you
just-
bro.
You
That's a
just
great
can't
little-
say they're the best team. You're going off what
He's
you
the best team in
potentially
NA.
think they
No,
could be
Rizzo-
the best team by the end of
Rizzo,
the. They're not
hit
right
him with
now.
and guys, tune in next week to find out why Tbates thinks BDS are the best team in Europe.
They are. They still
I had
are.
something else, but Tbates just threw me for a loop, and I can't remember what it was. I'm actually just lost. I'm dazed.
Who's better than BDS in Europe?
Casey.
Like Carmine,
He's
Oxygen.
16 ahead of them.
And
Come on,
Carmine,
Casey, go win something
Oxygen.
first. Go win
At
a
least
win a
Carmine
land
and
first.
Oxygen.
Carmine had
Oxygen.
Carmine made every grand final in regionals, and
That's
they
great.
had
You can
one
make
bad
BDS
day.
done that
Which-
already.
Hey, you were
BDS's
pretty
win
quick
was
to forgive
5
BDS for
months
one
ago.
bad day. I think you
Bates.
should forgive Carmine Cart for one bad day as well.
Mark, you
Bates,
forgot how to play Rocket League?
Bates, who's the best team in NA?
Best team in NA right now?
Yeah.
The Gen G.
No, whoa, no. Just like you said it with EU. Who's the best team in EU? Is BDS. Who's the best team in NA?
NRG.
Wait, who did you say, Bates?
I didn't say anybody.
Oh.
It's Gen G.
Wait, so you
But
just
what-
why G2 can't play Rocket League anymore?
No,
The
G2
G2
second. G2 second.
What?
G2 second. Oh.
Why? I just want to know why Carmine Corp are not allowed a bad day, but BDS were allowed a bad day at the Spring Major. and
BDS
you
have
were
absolutely
fine with that.
dominated basically everything they played in. They had
Yeah,
one
they
bad.
got
They had a
second,
bad. They had
first.
a
You
bad
could-
you
split.
could argue that
you guys
BDS
gotta
had one
give
good
BDS
day.
a little bit of pause,
True.
man. They won the world
That was-
championship.
you
They
could
won the
argue they had
pinnacle of
one
Rocket
good day,
League,
Tbates.
and then they scrimmed on September 1st, man. You didn't even give them time to breathe.
Dead
Hey,
last,
nobody
dead
got
last
that.
spring major.
Same-
Dead last
same
lost to
line.
2 minor region teams.
Yep.
Yeah.
Won a worlds. Not
sure
did.
they didn't breeze through a worlds. They won a worlds.
They handled
Good
that.
night.
They handled business.
They
Had a
didn't
good
breeze
And
it.
then the
Yeah,
next
you can say
split,
they handled
they
it,
got
sure.
7th. So they had like a good online split, awful land.
Great. Awful. lane.
Great online split, awful land.
Mhm.
Won the world championship.
Won the world championship, and awful
Good bad
split.
online.
That's
yeah.
2
Half
splits.
and half.
They
Yeah.
really had the same
What
amount
is
of good and
super
bad
about
days.
that?
What do you mean? What is super about? What is like I said? The fall split happened too quick. They need a break.
If a team's lands placings are 16th, first, did not qualify, what is super about that? There's nothing super about that.
Bates, they got a
You'll
break.
see.
They got a break after Worlds, and then they got 7th or 6th or whatever
What was
they
the
got.
break after Worlds? They were scrimming on September 1st. I just won the world championship. I couldn't even go to Cancun. I want to go to Cancun for 3 weeks. I can't do that. I gotta be back on the PC.
What's going to Cancun for 3 weeks going to do? Well, all your competition's sitting in free play.
Exactly, that's what I'm
they're-
saying. I need about a 4-month break so I can go to Cancun because everybody else try to catch up to me, but y'all ain't as good as me. And then when I come back, y'all gonna see I'm still better than you. And that's exactly what's about to
no.
happen. BDS is about to win. They're about to dominate this winter split. I'm telling you, it's coming for them. But Oxygen go contend with them.
It is more
about
likely
BT.
that BDS misses out on land again than they get first.
No, not a chance.
100%.
First at the land or first?
No,
in the
first
EU?
online. First in
First
EU.
team,
It is
first
more
team.
likely that they miss out again.
No,
I
no.
guarantee. I promise you.
That's
I
a
promise you.
great over-under, by the way. That's a really good one.
I feel like
Good
it's
line.
got to be like a
That's a
50-50,
good one.
honestly.
No, ain't
I
a
don't know.
50-50.
What is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
Bates, tell me. What is
You
it?
got BDS, you got Oxygen,
No, what are the odds? Tell me the odds.
you got the odds of BDS making land?
Oxygen. So you
I
got
think BDS
oxygen,
will probably make
liquid or
Missing
still,
it over
pretty
getting a
good.
first in a regional. What are the odds of
Moist.
that?
You know,
Bro,
I rate
guys,
BDS
BDS
like-
wins at least one regional.
Come on, Johnny. Like,
The split? Or
we
the
got to
season?
knock
know
Moist
what?
down a few
You-
pegs.
you
We
say
gotta
You
knock
don't
him
rate.
down a few
You don't
pegs.
rate Juicy still.
I don't know enough.
I mean,
about him.
I mean,
Juicy-
I just
Juicy's-
rate Rise
Juicy's
really
sick.
highly,
Yeah,
he's
Rise
lost
is
and I
Rise.
don't rate Joyo
Juicy's
as high as
sick.
everyone else does.
I'm just saying that Moist look pretty
Wait,
good.
talking about
and
does BDS win a
Juicy's very
regional?
good player.
So BDS are a super
Maybe.
team, yeah.
Oh yeah, they are.
Definitely.
I don't.
So-
I don't think so.
I just don't understand how super teams like just lose games. I mean, these guys are super
They are
teams that are formed, and somehow
It's
they
in the
just
name.
they're trained daily. They scream daily, and they just lose.
Yeah, they didn't even have any time to go to Cancun. No distractions. Straight back to free play. Scrims.
All right, we've been going for just about 2 hours now, so I just want to say, if there's any final thoughts, it'd be your time to get them out now before we wrap up the show.
Wait, I didn't ask everybody a question.
I think in open circuit history, Rise Joyo Vatira is the most super team that there's ever been. That's my last take of the night.
That's incredible. That's an incredible take. That's a good one.
I'd probably agree with that.
Okay, that's a guy. He gets paid. That's guy he gets paid. He gets paid by the man upstairs. Alrighty. I want to ask everybody questions. BDS win a regional in the winter split. Retals, you first.
No.
Rizzo.
But you asked, does BDS win a regional winter split?
Yeah, in the winter split. This one coming up.
I'm just gonna say no, just to do you dirty. Like I think
All
they
right,
could.
fine.
I'm gonna
Johnny,
say
CJ,
no.
Johnny, I already know Johnny. Johnny's my tip to this. He's gonna say no oxygen and then moist, and you're gonna have some
Well,
team
no,
from
come on.
CT from EU
Listen.
depth.
Win a regional. I had them qualify. I think they're going to qualify for LAN. Win a regional.
Yeah, I think they can
It's
qualify.
possible. It's possible. I think that they're in the mix. I think they're in
Yes
the
or
mix.
no?
But
I think they
I'm
finished
going to say
fourth.
no. I'm going to say
Okay.
no because the
DJ?
teams who have won regionals usually finish top 3. I've got them 4 or 5. So no. But they qualify for LAN though.
Agreed.
No, I don't think they do.
Okay. The Gen G win one. Yes or no? Quick.
Yes.
No.
Oh,
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. Hold on.
Historically, I've underrated that team always, but
Yeah,
I
you
just
sure have.
Yeah.
we'll see.
Okay.
See.
Alrighty. All right. I got my last thoughts.
I'll say yeah. Yeah, they will. Just had to think about it.
Okay. Okay. Wait, did CJ say yes or no?
yeah, they do.
All right. Okay. We got to mark down.
Wait, what do you think, Bates? Do they win?
Do they win the regional?
Did Genji win a regional?
Yeah, they'll win one.
All right. Just want to make sure. Just
It's
want
like
to
a
make sure.
car
we're
throwing
here.
pass.
They'll win one. Yeah, all right.
All right, I think that about wraps it up, guys. Thank you so much for watching Shotcast number 25. We appreciate you watching as always. If you missed any of the show, feel free to catch it on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. I will tweet out a little bit later when that is live, so if you do want to see that, be sure to follow me on Twitter to check that out. Thank you to CJ and Johnny for co-hosting with me. Thank you to Retals and Tbates for being our special guests tonight, and we will see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Farewell.